Welcome to Steam Next Fest, where we're showing a massive collection of upcoming titles on Steam. During the week of the festival, developers from around the world release their demos for you to play.
Time to put on the gamer pants.
Oh my god.
So go explore the newest titles. From first-time devs to seasoned pros, this is Steam Next Fest.
Welcome to Steam Next Fest, a multi-day celebration of upcoming games. From now until June 22nd, you can go right into the Steam store and check out hundreds of demos for games that will be coming out soon, as well as check out some great developer live streams and chat with the teams about their games in progress. Here to kick off the stream for Next Fest are J Hobbs and myself, Sumichu. J Hobbs, what kind of stuff do we have in store for today?
Well, we have a fantastic show for you, everybody. We're going to be kicking things off with a 2-hour live stream here with a bunch of panelists, some speedrunners, because that's the kind of thing that we're just really interested in ourselves. And most importantly, we're going to get a look at a bunch of the games, although just a small sampling of the games that are in Steam Next Fest this week. Every game that you're going to see today has a free demo you can download right away. So if you like what you see, head on over to the Steam store and download the demo and try it out today. So the way this is going to go is we're going to take a look at a few different genres, and some games within those genres, maybe get some in-depth gameplay looks, and as I alluded to, maybe some speedrunning challenges along the way too, because that's just very fun. So without further ado, why don't we get started and let's take a look at some of the action games that you can find during Steam Next Fest.
Welcome to Steam Next Fest, where we've got all the fist-to-face action you need. Kicking off with Fallen Aces, a crime noir FPS that plays right out of the 90s and looks right out of the comics. Then there's Grime, a grisly adventure that'll have you crushing your enemies and absorbing their remains to grow bigger and destroy faster. Step from Cold War-era East Berlin into a dark parallel reality dripping with mystery in Industria. Next, blast off on a cosmic corgi quest to save your owner in Proto Corgi. Finally, possess your enemies and absorb their skills to fight an evil presence in Rogue Spirit. Play all of these games and so many more in Steam Next Fest.
The action genre is one of the most massive genres that have games that are available on Steam right now to try during Next Fest. And here to talk with us about that are I Am Brandon and Brianato. Gentlemen, hello, welcome. Welcome to Next Fest.
Thank
you so much for having us.
It's going to be good.
Yes. So we've seen a couple of games in there. We saw Fallen Aces, Grimes, Industria, Proto Corgi, and Rogue Spirit. Which of those games piques your interest?
Can we talk about Industria? Every time I've seen that game, I've seen the trailer a couple times now too. I'm just instantly captivated by it. BioShock is one of my favorite games of all time, and even though both of those games are obviously very different, I feel like it kind of taps a similar place in my brain where it's very visually striking, kind of alternate history, really interesting character design. Looks like it could be narrative driven, and I'm just kind of a sucker for first person games in general, so that one's really right up my alley.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Fallen Aces. When I first saw it, I just really saw the noir style, and just the gameplay looks really cool. But I think my favorite of all this is probably Proto Corgi, because who loves dogs? I love dogs, and corgis are cute.
Space dog.
Yeah,
gotta
space dog shooting everything lasers and everything.
Of course, gotta be excited for that one. I liked Industria too a lot, Bri. I think also it gave me some vibes, maybe some influence from Control in there, which can only
for
mean
sure.
good things. First-person storytelling is really cool. But I think that Fallen Aces, one of the things that was cool about that one is just the setting, right, and the style of it. Noir is really cool. Yeah, Brandon, do you have any other thoughts on Fallen Aces?
I just can't wait to play it because I'm good friends with the people at New Blood, so I'm just just put my hands on it. I can't wait.
Awesome.
I think the fact that they made it look like a moving comic, I can't imagine that's an easy art style to accomplish and make it look fluid like that. So yeah, that was personally most impressive to me.
I
Sumi,
love it.
I was gonna say, what jumped out at you?
Definitely Proto Corgi. I've had my eye on it for a little bit now. I love that they advertise themselves as a bark 'em up, you know, like barking, and the dog actually like barks up like BARK. I've seen in the screenshots, and I love Bullet, the corgi, the cute cybernetic corgi, and the whole story is about saving his owner. Like, what dog could be better than that, honestly?
Oh man,
it feels like a game that you couldn't dislike.
Right.
You know, right.
Like, even if it's like not your genre or whatever, it's not for you. It's just like, well, I can't dislike
You're
it.
like, that's cute. That is objectively very,
yeah. I think one of the things I like too about some of the other ones, like Grime, I noticed it's got a dash, which for me is like a speedrunner. Is as soon as I see a dash, I'm already at a certain minimum level of happiness because I can't wait to play.
Exploit this?
Yeah, I can't wait to play around with it. But also the moment the character in that little glimpse we got grabbed the projectile to like throw it back, that was really cool, and that showed that like combat is probably going to have a lot of variety to it and be very in depth with, which I just thought was super neat.
I'm also a fan of Rogue Spirit because I took a little bit of time this morning to watch one of the dev live streams that was going on right now, and they're playing through the game, and just watching the combat in that game was really fun. You know, just you are the spirit and you're fighting live enemies, and then you can take their powers, and it like affects the way you look and stuff like that. It's really cool. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, possessing your enemies it's such a like weird and cool concept. We got almost that line in the voiceover almost got me immediately, just because I want to see what exactly that means, you know, what kind of variety comes out of that one as well.
Cool. Well, we have some more action coming up to you right now. Let's take a look at the trailer for Moons of Darsalon.
So that was our first look at a full trailer for Moons of Darsalon, which again has a demo live right now. You can go to the Steam store, download and play it if you thought that looked cool. But I wanted to open the floor to kind of talk about that a little bit. Did anybody have anything that stood out from them in the trailer? I know I have a few, but I'll hold back.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say, for me, like, I love retro games, so like the style of it is just like instantly makes me want to play it, and then the music is also cool too. I'm a big fan of Earthworm Jim, so that kind of is like bring me those vibes as well, you know. And space, who doesn't love space?
Just throw a dog in there too, right? Like,
yeah. We have everything.
Brian, how about you?
Yeah, there was a lot to absorb from that trailer. I was trying to like pick up on all the various mechanics that were going on. It seemed like there was, you can kind of like platform creation, and it seemed like there was a lot of physics interactions that were happening, both like with like vehicles or shooting the lights at the ceiling. It seems like there was just like a lot to unpack there, which I would imagine would also that would mean there is in the game as well. So I love that Sega era kind of visual style, and obviously like guiding around all the little people with you kind of gives me a familiar feeling of like a 2D Pikmin. Obviously, I don't want to be reductive at all like that, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. And if it really the whole time I was watching it, I was like, wow, this very much looks like its own thing, like a
Yeah.
very unique looking game, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Honestly, go ahead, Sumi, please.
Oh, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no, you're fine.
So just to add on to that, I feel I got that vibe too, but for me it was like that old school game Lemmings with way smarter AI. And you can like command them, you can tell them what to do. And I know you mentioned earlier, the graphics as well. I was a fan of the graphics because I took a look at it and, you know, they said that their graphics have a unique render pipeline, and it's a combination of modern lighting, 2D sprites, and 3D models that are pixelated in real time. But they restrict the color palette to maintain that authentic retro feel. So it's
really cool.
very unique.
Oh, that makes
I love
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was really cool too, and I think it's awesome that we're all seeing like different influences and different things in the game. Because for me, the animation style and especially the humor that we were seeing, it reminds me a little bit of the old like Sierra games, like Space Quest and those games.
Yeah,
That's a
classic.
great, yeah.
I thought those were some like that. I don't think we've really seen many games like that recently, and it's cool to kind of have a modern take on that. And also some of the mechanics for sure, like the on-the-fly terrain building. That is a really cool thing because you can always do almost even more than the developer imagines that you could do when it comes to those kinds of mechanics. So I think in combat, how they showed that you have to like build up a wall to run away and keep yourself safe. It means
To block the missile, that one stuck out to me. Yeah, that was cool.
For sure. Like I've never thought of terrain building like that as a combat tool or even like a tool to stop combat and stuff really so much as just a matter of getting around. I want to see where that leads.
They said that they also have some very unique water physics as well. We didn't get to see a lot of that in the trailer, but I mean, I'm hoping to see that in the demo. I need to see it.
Yeah.
It seems like a game that, I really just have to dive into the demo for to kind of dig in to unpack everything there. And it seems like it has a lot of personality too. My favorite moment was when they were running into the house and it was pizza and PS4.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we got an in-depth look at that one. Remember, everybody, Moons of Darsalon is the name of the game, and you can check it out in the Steam client right now. Free demo. Go download it. We're going to move on to another game, though, where we get a little bit of an in-depth gameplay look. And, Brian, I know you were the one who actually got to dive into this one.
Yes. Very, very, very excited for this one. Yes.
You are excited. So why don't we take a look at Grapple Hoops? And while we see some gameplay, we can kind of give our thoughts on it. So let's roll that feed.
Yeah, okay, so this is Grapple Hoops. I went ahead and played this demo. I personally am a massive fan of first-person movement games, especially ones that kind of lean into speedrunning. And so this is a basketball parkour game, is really the only way I can describe it. And of course, as the name implies, you have a grapple hook. So there's a lot of like weird physics things you can do with it and stuff like that. So when you actually are throwing the ball, the game kind of slows into a bullet time, and then you can use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down to adjust the speed at which the ball is thrown. And there's like, obviously, this is just me kind of playing around with the physics and trying to figure out how things work.
Yeah, and
they have this launch pad animation,
nice.
which is great.
So good. Love the style in it too. I mean, after all, you are playing basketball, right? Even if you're flying all over the place and everything. It looks like some enemies and stuff here as well. In a basketball game, you're not really expecting people to punch you.
No,
and whatnot, but what's going on?
Yeah. So this is the practice arena. This was just kind of like a playground for you to figure out how exactly the physics work and what to expect coming up. And these enemies, like, they don't play around. The game is obviously still in development, so this is very much a look at what is coming up. But there's quite a few different enemy types and everything. I was trying to bank the ball off there; it didn't quite work. But yeah, these dudes don't play around. Like they will, they'll just destroy you instantly. The arc on the basketball is pretty accurate, so you can make some pretty far shots too. Nice. So what we'll see coming up with the levels after this is that the goal is basically, obviously, to get the ball in the hoop and avoid the enemies. And this dude, I am not sure how you beat him.
I was like, this seems like a big boss, dude. You just gotta maybe avoid or something.
Well, when we saw the beginning of this video, Bri was beating up on his buddies, so that person just had to be
That's only fair.
payback.
One of the things that I found interesting about this game was I was just really curious of what the developers, like how they came up with the concept, because it's so unique and different. So yeah, that was one of the big things that always stood out to me.
Right.
This one I'm proud of right here. Throw the ball back, recall it, and then throw it. Yeah.
I love the
Yeah, there we go. I was like, yeah, I finally got it. Yeah, I love doing speedruns of first-person stuff. So this game definitely kind of plays into that similar vein. So yeah.
You know what I think is cool too is they got a lot of really good impact. Like you can feel the weight of things, being able to smash through the glass, and the weight of that swing that you just did with the grappling hook. I think that kind of stuff is always makes first-person games more immersive when they're able to pull that off successfully. I like the long range.
The little
yeah. So something to keep in mind is that when you grapple enemies, you get zipped to them like really, really fast. So if you look if viewers look in the top left, there is a timer. So a lot of these levels, like other games that are level-based like this, are going to have goal times to try to complete a level so fast. So you'll see a lot of this, I'm doing attempts kind of over and over, trying to get the best possible time that I can and make use of all the mechanics. But yeah, there's a lot of room for freedom of expression here, as you can tell with like the dunks and everything like that. So really, really cool.
I'm waiting for the inevitable day where people are just from the starting line launching a lob all the way over to the basket.
It's gonna happen.
Good at it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sumi.
Yeah, I love using.
Want to chime
go for
in?
it, Sumi. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there are some people in the chat saying super hot plus parkour, super mirror edge hot. Yeah, I can see it, right?
I can see
super
all that.
Hot, mirror's edge, parkour. Parkour is one of the advertised features of this game, and it looks so good.
Like, and you just feel like you're really cool doing all these things, especially like when the character like poses after like hitting the basket.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, I love doing things that I could never do in real life. So this is perfect.
This is so cool. Yeah, dude. I'm just watching this back. I was like, yeah, I did this. This was cool.
I love every time that you pull to an enemy directly. Like that is just,
it's so fast.
It's so fast. It's so good. I love it. And then the wall running too, like any game that has wall running, it's I feel like wall running can at times be hard to like get right to where it feels satisfying, but did it feel really good to you, Brian? Like it was just
absolutely. I think smooth parkouring games is something that's really hard to accomplish, and I think one of the reasons we've been seeing so much more of it is because of games like Mirror's Edge, and especially recently like Titanfall. So it makes me really happy to see other developers try and give this a shot, and it does feel really good in this game. Also, the grapple hook is ridiculous, as you can see here. Yeah, it's very elastic. So the amount of height you can get off this is nothing short of just wild. Yeah, and this shot right here, it's like kind of hard because I'm trying to compensate for like moving upward and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
that's great. Oh yeah, this is kind of neat too. You're actually like, you show up with a gun for a second. I was not expecting that. And then like, so wait, we're gonna get a flip around. Kind of neat.
Oh, that's so dope.
I wonder if they have more in that vein of things, like where maybe you play from the other side as well. I don't know.
Wait,
I believe
Brian,
that's definitely planned. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get punched out in this. I think there's supposed to be like there's going to be a full-fledged like single-player story mode, and that was like a little bit of a taste of it. But this is all in the demo that you can play right now. By the way, I only spent about like a half hour there with the 360.
The 360. You're just showing off now. Come on. we gave Brian way too much time to play with this game, apparently.
Yeah, I spent about like a half hour, 45 minutes with this, and like this is what I was able to do with it in just that short amount of time.
Wow,
so spend some time with the demo, and it could be you've definitely be doing some cool stuff. Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, and then again, that glass shattering every time. It's because, like we saw in your first one, how you can approach it different ways. Are you going to like run in and punch the glass? Or are you going to slide into it to kind of like kickstart your speed almost maybe or something? Or are you going to throw the basketball at it, let it bounce back like a rebound, and then keep moving?
I love the sound as well. Like this music just pumps me up. When the demo started,
you're ready to,
yeah. It's like I'm ready to grapple and I'm ready to hoop. Grapple hoops.
Here's another big launch.
Oh wow. Super high up there. And of course the nods in there.
There's just so much stuff that's happening, and like you can instantly just change the gameplay by like mere seconds. Like if you're gonna do like a slide or something like that, it's pretty dope.
I have to imagine too. There's gonna be those people who are like, okay, no grapple run for this level.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm gonna or low number of grapples and stuff like that. So oh no, they'll never figured it out, huh?
Well, for those of you who are interested in Grapple Hoops, remember that the demo is available right now. And if you think you could do better than Bri, you can download Grapple Hoops. You can punch out some random robots. You can grapple. You can hoop. You can score some points. Get to it.
It didn't look like it mattered whether you were getting a 3-pointer or a dunk. I don't know if that really.
Bri was scoring from like so far back. That's like a 10-pointer.
Yeah, exactly.
At least.
They got to add in a high score mode that's just like, okay, how far back can you toss the ball?
Yeah, from everything I could tell, they're obviously planning like full-fledged leaderboards. I'm not sure if there's going to be any sort of a replay system. It's like for other people to download, but there would be it looks like there's going to be a local replay system.
Ooh,
so
nice.
definitely a lot of room to style and go fast and everything in there. Ooh. So yeah.
Yeah, IL timers and stuff too just really encourages the wanting to do just a little bit better. Like, I know I did well in that level, but I can play it again. I could. You
saw a bit of that just in that demo footage. Yeah.
Just even in that first level, and it looked like it was a pretty sizable demo too. Like you got a good chunk of levels there to mess around with. Well, any other thoughts from anybody here on Grapple Hoops before we carry on to another action game?
Oh, I'll be playing it today. I cannot wait.
I personally want to know, Bryce, since you played the game, what do you think is your favorite part of the game?
Something I've kind of touched on already, but just the freedom of movement and freedom of expression, and like how you can just kind of show off and obviously accomplish the same level in like 10, 12, 13 different ways. As somebody that does enjoy speedrunning as a hobby, it taps into that part of my brain where like, okay, let me just play this one more time. I can cut another 0.2 of a second off this time. Right. So yeah, really, really fun.
Awesome.
Well, cool. Let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit, but we're still going to be talking in the action genre here. We are going to check out a trailer for Severed Steel, a game I know I'm highly anticipating.
Severed Steel is coming out soon, but if you want to play the demo, some people in the chat have already said that they've played the demo and it's really great, so you can take their word for it. But J Hobbs has been super excited for this game. In our rehearsals, in every conversation we've had, you cannot have a conversation with him without hearing the word Severed Steel. J Hobbs, tell me about Severed Steel. Yeah,
this one, in fact, I'm going to go download it. I'll be right back. I'm going to go play it now. No, of course, this is the computer that I would do that on anyways. All right, Severed Steel. So I think that what's really cool about indie games, especially, is that oftentimes an indie will come around with a new game that like kind of almost invents a new genre or does a like brand new thing that people haven't really seen. And then we get to see kind of the evolution of that genre over time as more indie devs take their own twist on it and stuff. So like we see some slow-mo shooting going on. It's reminiscent of Super Hot. There's a lot of other different games as well that kind of do that bullet time as you go into aim down sights and everything. And this just seems like the next level, like completely. It's super cool. The fact that you have so many different ways to approach an encounter, and the adrenaline bar, which is like your slow-mo from what it looks like it's a limited resource. So you can't just like do it indefinitely and just constantly dodge really easily. You do have to take those moments when they're offered to you for like, okay, this is where I can really get my aim down precise, take a dodge, jump on this gurney and keep moving, and then take out the next enemy around the corner. So I don't know, I could gush more, but I want to hear what other people loved about this trailer first.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a few times. I love first-person movement games. So just the fact that we've been seeing so many of these in recent years, it's like a dream for me, having all these different different games to go off of. And Severed Steel, it looked like there was a lot of different stuff going on in that trailer. At one point, it looked like the character did a full-fledged front flip, and that full 360-degree vertical movement is not something that you see a lot in games. And so the ability to do that is very enticing to me. Obviously, as well, you have the bullet time and the parkour and everything like that. I mean, Titanfall is one of my favorite games, so any game where I'm able to do that more is excellent. And also, it seemed like there were quite a bit of it seemed like there could be interactive environments, or at least destructible environments to some extent. You know, we saw with the is it called a gurney? Is that what it is?
So I don't know. If not, it was just a moving cart.
I thought it was like a beach chair.
But yeah, it looked like he had a lot of ways to approach really any given room, and it seemed there was a point system, so it's probably going to judge you based off how stylish you are. So definitely a game I will be playing as well.
Brandon, what jumped out at you when looking at that trailer?
Oh, like instantly the style of it. Like I love futuristic like environments and things. Even like to the logo of it, like it's so dope. The front flip into like shooting the enemy was cool. I'm really interested to see more of like the weapons that you get to use, because with everything that's happening, I'm sure there's like some really dope weapons you get to use.
Yeah, I also liked how that adrenaline bar, it seemed to refill when you were landing your shots. So it's not just the puzzle of like figuring out where's every enemy, who do I need to take out first. It's also like, no, you got to get your gunplay on point. You got to land your shots. And if you do so, you get rewarded like tenfold basically. And you can turn around and you do more slow-mo to do more cool things. Like, again, vaulting over things, using movable objects in particular. Like that is really cool. It didn't look like this, quick time event of I walk up to it and then it just happens automatically. It looked like it was really up to the player exactly how they were going to use the objects in the environment around them. And that is just so refreshing to see. I think it was super cool.
It reminds me of the kind of like arcane style of game design, like Dark Messiah. Where you have like these, you're able to kick stuff, and you have destructible or interactive environments that you can manipulate in various ways. And I feel like we've been seeing that kind of coming back in recent years, especially, and Severed Steel really kind of tapped into that, I feel, as well. So I'm really excited to see any games that kind of adopt that style of combat and environment interaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm also super interested in the protagonists themselves, because the protagonist has one arm. So they're doing all of these cool stunts with one arm. And I couldn't do those stunts with two arms. So I'm definitely interested in that as well. Michael_Monstar in the chat said, I love the visual style though. Like things are dark, but with a glowing layer on top. And I 100% agree with that.
Yep.
It's a good way of putting it. It's almost like neon in a way, right? Where it only shines if it's also dark at the same time. And I think that's a really cool thing about it for sure. I hadn't noticed the one arm. Like that is a really, you were looking at a different part of that trailer than I was too. Like that's really cool. There's always new things to find about these games when we look at them a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm curious how that plays back into the narrative. I'm just kind of curious about the narrative at all. So obviously a game that's very gameplay focused, but I'm sure there's more to unpack there too. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And the game will be coming out in summer 2021. So if any of you are interested, check it out then. But you can play the demo now, and maybe you'll find out a little bit more about the protagonist and the story as well. And I think that we've covered Severed Steel really well, and that does conclude our action genre. So we do have to say goodbye to Bri, and I am Brandon. But thank you so much, both of you, for all of your wonderful feedback, because you both are action masters, and clearly you are fantastic action gamers, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was great to get a lot of different insight. Sorry, go ahead. Sue.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to know if you guys had anything that you wanted to plug real quick before we send you off.
Oh, of course. Yeah, thank you. If you couldn't tell, I speedrun a lot, including things like Titanfall or Halo 3 or whatever. I play a lot of first-person movement games. I don't think I've said that at all so far. But anyway, that is twitch.tv/Bryonato, BRYONATO. Thank you for having me so much.
Yeah, if you guys want to check me out, I am Brandon. I play a lot of retro games and a lot of horror indie stuff. So I see the games here that we showed off. I'm definitely going to be playing them like probably tonight. So if you want to check it out, come see me.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you very much to both of you.
Yeah, thank you both. And don't forget, everybody, you too can play any of the games that you're seeing on the broadcast today. Head over to the Steam client, check out the homepage of the store and the Steam Next Fest page in particular, and you'll be able to go and download the demos for any of these games. Well, let's take a look at another genre now. How about platformers, which are just always a big thing when it comes to speedrunners and stuff. I can't get enough of them. Let's take a look at some of the games in the platformer genre.
In this Steam Next Fest, we've got all the fresh-baked platformers you can eat. Like Fairy Afterlife, a platformer where you'll fight or control enemies and turn them to your advantage, all set in a vast and beautiful world. Next up is Guinea Pig Parkour, a hand-drawn comedy parkour platformer adventure painstakingly crafted as a lost 90s animated cartoon show. Then there's Super Magbot, a precision 16-bit styled 2D platformer with a twist. No jumping allowed. Hunt dangerous bounties across a futuristic space western setting where platforming and fighting are all part of the job, and they always run. Finally, wield Mighty Mjolnir in Tiny Thor, a gorgeous 16-bit retro-inspired action platformer with heart. Play all of these games and so many more in Steam Next Fest.
There are a lot of platformers to enjoy in the Next Fest. So if you like to platform, you like to jump up and down, and you like to maybe perhaps be a guinea pig, you can check out the platformer genre on the Steam Next Fest page and play some demos. But before we get into that conversation, we have two new panelists to join us for the platformer genre. We have TGH and Argic. What's up? What's up?
Yo. Hello. Yo, thanks for having us. What's going on?
Welcome to Next Fest. Thanks for being here. Sorry, Jay.
Glad to be here.
Go ahead.
No, you and I are going to stumble over each other the entire time because we both always just want to be like, no, thank you so much. Like, please, we're so glad you're here. Thank you. But yeah, the platformer genre, I mean, this one seems just right up the alley of both of your gameplay histories, your streams and whatnot. What were some of the ones in just that little bit that we got to look at that jumped out to you there? Let's start with Argic. How about you?
Guinea Pig Parkour just had like my entire 90s childhood come back to me.
Right.
Like with his style in that one. And I love the way, like I love how the Guinea Pig just has some swag. Like the way the animations in that are, like they're very over the top, but still stylish. And it's like, it looks like a fun platformer to play, honestly. It looks like it's going to be silly good fun. And I see like just Hey Arnold and Rugrats and things like that. It's like, yeah, this is heavily 90s it is, and I'm all for it. So hopefully it's going to be a fun one to sit and play.
Yeah, I thought that game just like exuded style. Like that was what that little glimpse showed us, even more than anything else.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of the devs' commentary on Twitter, and they actually draw all of their graphics frame by frame by hand to get that aesthetic. So fantastic. TJH, what are you interested in?
Yeah, honestly, same about Guinea Pig Parkour. Like, I'm a huge fan of games that just like look unique. And that is one of those games that really looks unique, as well as like, it pays obvious homage to that sort of like 90s cartoon aesthetic as well. Super Magbot as well.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna get into this a little bit later, but Tiny Thor also looks incredible. Like it looks really good. I was able to play the demo. And it's just a lot of the mechanics I'm really looking forward to how they're gonna how else they're gonna implement those mechanics as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Super Magbot was definitely one that stood out to me a lot. That was actually one that I had my eye on before already. And I've seen like some of the kind of longer trailers and stuff, and there's a lot of depth that they can pull off with just such a simple core mechanic. And just the magnetic weapon that allows you to kind of push yourself off of certain spots or pull yourself to other spots. And I love when designers try to think of ways to kind of like limit themselves to be more creative. So, we're talking about the platformer genre, right? What if we made a platformer where you can't jump? What does that mean? How would that work? What does that look like? And they found some way to make it work. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. When we started this segment, I was like, yeah, if you like jumping, then you'll like this genre. And then one of the games in there is a game where you can't even jump. So I guess if you don't like jumping, this genre is still for you.
Yeah, there were a couple other games that we got to see in there as well. Fairy Afterlight, which I just thought it looks cute as heck. It's got like super simple, clean, like modern kind of art style going on. And I'm curious to know what like turning enemies to your advantage means. And then They Always Run has wall running and slow down, as we saw with like Grapple Hoops. That is always a really cool thing. And the setting in particular, just I thought looked really, really neat.
Awesome. I mean, I like Fairy Afterlight as well because Wispy, so the main characters' names are Chemo and Wispy. And Wispy kind of reminds me of like, I'm getting like Ori vibes, Like it's just so cute, so cool, and super powerful. And the ability to choose between whether you want to fight the enemy or control them to take over their powers and use them to advance, in the stage, that's what I'm really interested in. I like a variety of combat opportunities, and that's something that really stood out to me there.
Couldn't agree more. But
yeah,
we're going to take a look at some of these games in a little more depth. And as TGH kind of alluded to there, we're going to take a look at Tiny Thor. Let's roll that trailer.
Tiny Thor will be available soon, but if you would like to play the demo, go ahead to the Steam store now. Check out Tiny Thor, and make sure to wishlist it as well because devs love that. It's great to wishlist the games that you're interested in. I mean, during that entire thing, I know that I was dancing because I was a big fan of the music. But Jay Hobbs, tell me a little bit about the sound design.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the sounds in there too. It's not something that really jumps out in a trailer usually. Sound design, like it's something that you kind of a lot of times don't even notice in games. And I think some of the effects that they had when you were collecting certain things, it all really just helped drive home the feel of that game and the feel of being back in the Genesis era to go with the graphics and the way that the game is structured. So kudos to whoever was doing sound design on that one. I loved a lot of the sounds in it.
Yeah,
but of course,
and TGH.
Yeah, go ahead, because all I was gonna say is it's a game about gameplay, right? It's not the sound design, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more to be admired in Tiny Thor. TJH and Argic were talking about the mechanics of the game, of course, as speedrunners. So TJH, tell me a little bit about how you feel about the mechanics of that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, I didn't really grow up with Genesis at all. Like, I was never a Genesis kid. What really drew me to this game was its mechanics, like the way it feels. Like, it's got really tight controls. It looks nice, you know. Like I still like the Genesis aesthetic, even though I didn't really grow up with it. But the main, it's got a really cool weapon. The Mjolnir, is it pronounced?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's I'm pretty sure I nailed it. Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, it's really cool. Like the ricochet mechanic is really nice as well. You have really good control over it. One thing that really stood out to me was the momentum conservation on slopes when you slide down slopes. And I was really happy to see, because I actually played the demo before I watched the trailer, but I was really happy to see in the trailer that areas beyond where the demo is really takes advantage of that momentum conservation, besides just going fast and having fun with, like, you know, jumping off it. Because I noticed right away, I was like, oh, I wonder if I can jump off this. Like, you know, having played Celeste a lot, like, I'm big fan of like conservation of momentum and providing that momentum yourself. And it was really nice to see that is something that will come into play later on. It really left me wanting to play more as well, especially getting that double jump ability at the end of the demo. Right. Yeah, like I was sad. I was sad it had ended when it did, but. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the release.
Argic, a big Genesis person yourself. How'd that game look to you?
I mean, that looks absolutely amazing. It's just like Genesis, I love it. Like, I'm a big Sonic fan. It's where my platforming prowess is. But it's like that immediately reminds me of games like Castle of Illusion and Quackshot, and a little bit of Kid Chameleon in there as well. Like, just the fact that Tiny Thor, it appears to be not only just a platformer, but you've got a bit of combat in there, and then you've got the puzzles with Mjolnir as well. Like, because you've seen it in that section of the trailer that was really sped up. Like, you weren't just throwing the hammer once to finish a puzzle. You were throwing it multiple times. Like, there's many different aspects to a puzzle. You've got to move a block over, which will then allow you to access another area where you've got to go through Mjolnir again. That'll activate a switch where you've got to go back to then go do more stuff. And it's like, you've got to keep an eye on those ricochets and see where it's going. Something that really caught my attention on it was when Tiny Thor threw Mjolnir, but then went onto a platform, and then the hammer kept bouncing up, and pushing the platform higher and higher and higher. It's like, wait a minute, it's got stuck, but it's intentional to get stuck to push you up there. So I'm intrigued to see just how many puzzles like that we're going to have available to play. But at the same time, how are we going to skip them? Because you know that's what we do as speedrunners. We're going to try and find a way to try and skip it. It's like, hey, I could throw that to kill that enemy over there that's going to ricochet up to this part of the level, knock something else down that allows me to bypass this entire section, you know? And it's that kind of theory crafting that's going to be a lot of fun, combining it, as you say, with the platforming, the momentum jumps and whatnot. It's like, there's nothing more satisfying than playing a platforming game where you build up a lot of speed and you just launch yourself and you get to have fun with it. So Tiny Thor, it looks great. I'm definitely wishlisting it. I'm definitely going to be checking out the demo, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Did Valve like pick the wrong people to showcase these? Because we're going to be like just talk about how, oh yeah, all that gameplay you just saw, I can't wait to not do it, like to just go right past it. No.
I was gonna say, like, it's one of those games too where even if you couldn't skip anything, it would still make a fun speed game.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just like the tech involved. I can tell the tech is going to be hot.
The hammer mechanics is so cool. Like you said, the ability for it to bounce off of all these different stuff. And also it bounces off the edge of the screen, I noticed. So I think that's going to mean that you have to think really creatively about how to solve some puzzles and like move your character around so that you're actually playing more with the camera than you are playing with a character or the hammer. And it's hard to tell from that trailer whether it's more puzzle platformer or precision platformer. So it looks like it's got a healthy dose of each. Yeah, and I think that's really cool because it means that you can get anybody who is into either of those can probably find some fun in that game.
You know what I'm most interested in? At the end of the trailer, it said supported by the Federal Ministry of Transport and Digital Infrastructure. So I went to look up what that was, and basically, because I live in the United States, right? So I'm very ignorant to this kind of stuff. So I looked it up, and apparently it's the Federal Ministry of Transport and Digital Infrastructure is a cabinet level ministry of the Federal Republic of Germany, and it covers transportation of like all kinds, which includes railways and cars, but also internet services. So Tiny Thor is supported by by this Federal Ministry of Transport and Digital Infrastructure. So I mean, they approve it.
When you said transportation of any kind, I was like, oh, right, including grabbing onto a hammer after you've thrown it so you can start flying across the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Sliding down the slope and jumping. There's the real tie-in. They gotta build that tie-in together. Oh man.
You know now that means we need to get a Tiny Thor train in Germany where it's just like Tiny Thor throwing the hammer at the front. You're on the Tiny Thor train now. Like, there you go.
They'll invent that technology.
Yeah. They'll figure it out.
Use it. Yeah. Inspired by Tiny Thor, of course.
Right. Well, any last thoughts from anybody on Tiny Thor before we move on to another game in the platformer genre?
Looks good. Can't wait to play it.
Gonna play it.
Don't forget. We can wish list on Steam, everybody, and download the demos right now. And hey, a fun fact, because I know like a lot of people haven't messed with wishlist before. This is just, I'm not being told to say this. It's just genuinely something that I found useful. When you wishlist it, it'll tell you when the game comes out if it's not out yet, and it'll also tell you when games go on sale. So I think that's really a useful feature. I've used that myself for lots of different games, so highly recommend doing it. But let's shift gears a little bit. Let's move on to another game, and we're going to do something a little bit different here. Argic, TGH, you both had a chance to play Super Dream Dasher before this stream, and you actually raced it. You did an improv race, a way of running through the game, trying to speedrun it, even though you've never played it before, you've never seen it. And we're going to take a look at how that went.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Hold button to skip.
Nope. Okay, fine.
Hold button to skip.
I skipped the cutscene. Roll start. Are we getting some? Oh, I missed my attack button. Feels bad. Oh well. Leg it. I'm off. Ooh. I'm rolling. They hating. Yeah, I made the bad pun melon. I made mistakes.
Oh, this is nice. Ooh. I died.
Ooh.
This is nice though. Like these controls are sweet.
I like the.
You're just a little bouncy ball.
I am a little bouncy ball, and it's.
Oh, you have a homing attack.
Yeah, you have a homing attack.
Yeah.
This is like. That must be a homing shot. Oh no, I missed that. I made mistakes. Oh. You know what the best thing about the homing attack is though? Like it looks like it looks like it does other things. Okay, yeah, I may have found a speed strat already. See if you press both buttons at the same time, the jump dash button.
Oh, can you jump dash? Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
you can basically jump dash. Yeah,
God, I need that right now.
Really cool.
Art already plays as a rolly ball. It's not fair.
Listen, you go collect berries and that. These acorns should be no problem. Oh, I'm not dead. Oh, I'm alive.
I don't think acorns are berries. I don't know about that. Oh,
they are still. Well, I was going to say, is an acorn a fruit? I don't think it is. So I'm going to fly it.
Okay, cool. I just made it to
fudge.
All right. Oh, it's a boss fight. Okay.
All right. Going through. Going in. Oh, that's okay. I'm alive. You go to like 1-6, then 1-1, then into 2-1. Ooh, wait, are we?
Ooh, that's neat.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oops.
Ooh. Now that is an interesting stage. You can do the whole like slidey thing off the edge and then jump layer.
Oh, coyote frames.
Yeah, see if you diagonally dash down into the ground, you get a really cool slide.
Okay, how many?
Like the ice physics here on this one are helping a lot for speed.
Oh god. Yeah, the enemies in World 2 make the most adorable sound when you hit them.
They just squeak.
Yeah, they just squeak, exactly. 211, Icy Tunnel.
Yeah. Okay. Same as me, that's where I am. You've caught up, congratulations.
Yay. Oh, I died. I died to a volcano in an ice level.
Yep.
Let's go. I died again to a volcano in an ice level.
There we go. Now I can imagine like a lot of people trying to collect like everything in this one. It's going to be interesting to see this routed. You know what it reminds me of? Like trying to collect bananas and that in Donkey Kong Country. I don't know why, but it's
it kind of does actually.
Right, in the hole. I'm just going to wait for that one and then just let that do that. Woo! Woo! Wow, they launch you.
right.
Okay.
I'm liking World 3 so far.
Okay, thinking with portals really ramps up the difficulty here.
That was the end of the level the whole time.
Yep.
Please.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I mean, if that's what you call feeling good, then sure. What are these things?
Right.
Oh, they cut. Okay,
launch
cool.
you.
Oh, they do have legs. You are right. Yes, they do indeed.
Cursed images, please. That's my end. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Done. Time done.
Yo, nice. Nice. I'm on
So it
4-6.
Yeah, you're literally like one behind me. That's really interesting. Like I got stuck a lot on 4-6 as well. Oh, that's really cool actually. I like this.
I don't know. I like the curve. I like the difficulty curve, even though like I know it's probably going to change with the full game. These are just like, you know, selected levels.
Only Arg, master of the purple ball, can yeet himself off the ledge out of a portal.
This is tense. Oh, not tense anymore. There we go.
Yay! There you go. GG's.
And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, done.
You only beat me
So
by
what-
like 10 minutes.
So what are your thoughts on the game then?
It's very smooth. I like it. It's controls
Yeah.
are satisfying. Yeah, the level design. I have at least first go around. Like I have absolutely no qualms with level design. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to practice it and like get better at it.
Thanks for letting us play the game. It is
Yeah,
good fun.
absolutely. It was
Now
a lot
we're
of
gonna
fun.
speed it up.
That was the casual playthrough of Super Dream Dasher. That was TGH and Argic learning the game for the first time, their improv run. But we also have some footage of them doing a race of the game. So let's hop straight into that, and then we'll discuss some more of Super Dream Dasher.
So we're back, and we practiced the game for maybe like an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour. I don't know what
We
time
didn't
it is.
track
so.
time, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't track time. We just did it.
Yeah, we just kind of practiced for a while, and now we're gonna play again, and you'll see like, you know, I guess this will be both a really good showcase of the game, hopefully, and also a really like it'll really go to show like exactly what practice does for speedrunning itself. So, you know, it's not like we can just magically turn on the game and just like start playing and
Yeah.
play like a speedrunner. So, you know.
It should be better than the footage that we saw earlier. Hopefully, that's
Yeah,
the
sure.
idea. Also, little amendment, we called them acorns. We've been informed by a reliable source that they are actually turnips.
They are turnips.
And that we just can't read. Our excuse is we were speedrunning and we didn't read the UI.
Okay, yeah, that was my excuse too.
We're ready to go for this race then?
Yep. Okay, you count us
All
down
right,
this
here
time.
we go then. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right,
And away
good
we
luck.
go.
Have
Good luck, have fun. Yep.
Okay.
So the idea is that we've learned a lot of level routes, basically, but we also found really cool things with the game as well. Like diagonal downward dashes are really useful
Yeah.
for staying on the ground and getting your dashes back. I have to see.
I mean,
I am also have muscle memory hitting retry right now, and that's not a good thing to have because we've been practicing and all I've been doing is hitting retry.
or you just end up dying anyway because you forget the strats on the level that you were practicing. All right, there we go. That's better.
But we also found really cool things for like some of the other stages as well that hopefully we'll be able to show off. Like they're not necessarily faster yet, but we played the game for about an hour, so we haven't really known if things are faster or not. But
Yeah, it takes
water
time
has
to-
cool gloop physics.
There we go. Okay.
Right, don't hit that. Don't hit that. I'm okay. I'm good. You stole my dash, though. That's fine. Nice. I hit retry, dang it. Oh, whatever, I'll do the stage twice. Ah!
I love when that happens.
It's like, I'm retrying a stage. No, you're doing a run now. It's like, I hit retry. I knew I was going to do it. I called it.
Oh, that
Right,
was close.
next. Not retry. Thank you, game. This is what happens when you practice a lot and then, yeah.
and then forget what you practice.
Yeah,
or you
forget what
get in the
practice.
habit of retrying a level. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hit 1. Oh boy, that was close.
Nice.
Oh, that had a horn on top of it.
I know what you did.
Yep.
All right.
Oh boy.
See the rough idea. There we go. Much better. Nope. Stop
Okay.
going on a
There we
retry.
go.
Oh, I'm trying to catch myself before I hit retry all the time.
All right, first boss down.
Nice.
1-6.
Oh, I got coconutted at the same time. That's what happens when you go off the cycle, I guess. There we go.
Whoops, that's not right.
Hit that. Not meant to, but whatever. It works. It works. It lets me through. So when you speedrun this one, you can see how all these stages are becoming like really, really fast, like 10, 15 seconds long.
Yep.
There is one stage. Oh, well done, Arg. I missed the golden turnips and the portal that I needed, so that was a double whammy. And there I hit the
Oh,
coconut.
what? Dash, please.
So be honest, Teach, how many times at this point would you have reset the run by now?
Well, I don't know. Probably 0, honestly, because like you know, with a new run, it's kind of not really. It's not helpful to reset.
Oh no, you
know,
want to
like,
practice
you-
all your levels.
Yeah, exactly. Part of.
But you want a good early game though.
Yeah, well, part of getting used to a speedrun is playing the whole game and getting used to like actually playing the game. At least I think that's really useful.
Oh no, you're definitely right on that. Like I'm not one
Yeah.
for resetting a whole lot on my runs if it's a brand new thing. Because as you say, you don't get to practice the late game at that point, and we got to go through. Go 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 go.
Yep, that one's fun. Just mash through.
Yeah, you knew exactly where I was.
Yep. Have I evened it up? I think I might have pulled even. I'm in the
Yeah, you
underwater one
probably
with
have.
spikes.
Yeah, same. I had a lot of problems on the like swinging monkey one.
Oh.
I'm on ice before on that.
Whoops.
Oops, what did you?
I hit a spike that I didn't think existed, apparently.
Oh, nice. Alright, so now cycle way through, not get hit by volcano. And then
Okay.
Teach is going to do something different there. Went in and done the turnip route there, by the way. So I did the turnip route. You might go and try and do the icicle thing, I'm guessing.
I don't know yet. I think I decided to do the lower route anyway. Oh, come on.
Bouncy. I love the green gloop. I'm bouncing on the green gloop again. Bouncy. So first, the dash here allows us to bounce. Oh! And the green gloop and then fall off the edge into the water. Apparently that went well, Arg. So yeah, 4 bounces on the green gloop there, and then fly
Okay,
up.
there we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that was too low.
there.
Okay.
There we go. Nice. Jump through and then down. Next. Stop heading, retry arc it next.
This
By
music is
stealing my
really
dash,
good.
I mean I dashed. The music's pretty chill. Right, 1, 2, 3. Alright,
No!
enemies.
Oh, that's frustrating.
That's fine. Okay. I got through. So any of the levels that have gloop in it, you can bounce on it. Unfortunately, we spent time trying to figure out if we could take it to our advantage. Not a lot of the levels can use it to our advantage, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because it'd be really cool to have that. Well, the bubble level is done. There we go. Did bubble level first time this time. That's good. And now on to the bizarre levels.
Oh, okay, that was... What was that? I went into the bubble and like tumbled like in the bubble down to the ground. Or down to the black water.
Yeah.
Oil? Maybe? Oh, come on. No, I'm struggling.
Well, I'm on our favorite level. It took us forever the first time. Let's see if I can do it the first time here, or if I'm going to whip it. I whiffed it because I immediately launched myself into a laser. Thanks, game. Can we pretend that one doesn't count?
I didn't need that. I forgot I don't need that.
Oh, okay, I got lucky there. The enemy went in the portal at the same time I went in the portal. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, so other than that flub at the start, yeah, we learned that level's route now, which is nice. And this one, if you do it right, can be really quick and smooth. Oh, I don't want that.
I don't know where the enemy was there. Oh, okay, that works.
Yay, done. There we go.
Yo, GG. I am,
You're right behind me.
Yep. Yeah, I've got 1 level left.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like these layer levels, when we first started them, were really, really hard and difficult because we didn't know where things were, and there were a lot more enemies and a lot more traps. But we quickly realized that things allow us to do like more than one dash, or our momentum gets carried, and we can skip things over, which is quite cool, and just like speed our way through them.
Oh boy, that was close.
We should have, you know, for speedrunners, we should have ran a timer. Like, we didn't run a timer.
That's time for me.
Yeah, GG.
Time, yeah, GG's.
That was significantly quicker the second time through there.
Yep.
And that was just an hour of practice as well. So, honestly, I think I could see myself speedrunning this in the future. Like, depending on how many levels there are, it could be quite fun just to try and set and improve times on this.
Yeah, it's a game where it's honestly like my type of speed game. Like, it's a game where it's very simple controls. You have a jump and a dash button and a dash direction, and of course just like general movement. But the movement itself is actually extremely dynamic, and there are a lot of different ways to attack different levels. So like that's the kind of platformer I really like to speed run. So like we'll see. Honestly, like this could be a speed game for me too.
It's got a little less gravity on it. Like the characters are a little bit more floaty compared to the platformers I like to speedrun. But honestly, the levels are short enough that it's like you could sit down for an hour, blast your way through them, and then get a cool speedrun at the end of it. So who knows? Maybe I'll end up doing some speedruns of it in the future as well. But that's it for us. So there was a mini little speedrun.
Yeah.
I say a mini speedrun. It was a speedrun. There's nothing mini about it. It was a speedrun.
Yep, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for having us. And again, Art, thanks for the races. Thanks for kicking my butt.
And thank you for the race as well. No doubt you will be kicking my butt fairly soon at it when you sit down and practice and put far more Celeste skills coming out on it than I will ever have. And there we go. Catch you later.
Awesome. You too. Peace.
Welcome back, everybody, to the live stream here. Thank you to Tej and Argic for actually doing those races. Now, there was a lot that we got to see there. We got to see a big chunk of the demo.
It looks like J-Hobbs might be cutting out just a little bit, so let me chime in here while he gets that worked out. Thank you so much, TGH and Argic, for a fantastic race.
No problem. Absolutely. Our pleasure. It was a really fun game to play.
Oh, definitely. Like, it was great to be asked. It's like, hey, you want to come play a platformer? It's like, ooh, what are we getting? And then finding out it was Super Dream Dasher. It's like, oh, this is quite fun. And like, those races were amazing. Like, they were good fun to sit and play. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Awesome.
All right, I think we're all good now. I think my mic's working here. So yes, I'm back. I thought that one was super fun to watch to get to. I'm a big fan of improv races and semi-improv races or whatever. We just get like a little bit of time with the game, and I thought that was super fun to watch. Above all else, the controls looked really smooth. Did they play as smooth as they looked?
Yeah, like I mean, I think I even said in the races that we did, like it's really it's my type of game with simple controls and just really dynamic like ways to go about doing things. It's a lot like Celeste in that regard. But yeah, like that's what I liked about it. It's like the game is extremely responsive as well. The dash, like I don't know if you could tell by looking at the footage, but you can dash in any direction at all. Well, actually, it's 8 directional dashes. But there's like a sort of homing attack associated with the dash. If you are close enough to an enemy, it'll just like kind of home in on the enemy. It won't really pay attention to exactly which direction you're pressing. So it's not like you have to be totally precise with it. And that feels good as a player and also as a speedrunner. So like, yeah, it's just good controls. It's really smooth.
And Argic, as a fan of a certain blue blur a lot of the time, how did it feel playing as the pink one here?
We were rolling about everywhere. It was great. Like, we're just going to keep rolling all the way through the levels. No, honestly, it's a lot of fun, as TGA says there. It's weird. When you say a game is smooth, like you're not really mentioning anything specific about the game, but it's one of those games where if you pick it up, you'll play the first couple of levels and you'll go, yeah, no, they're right, this is smooth. And it is just a mix of the fact that the game does what you want it to when you're playing through it. You do the dashes in any of the 8 directions. It jumps when you want it to jump. And then that lock-on, as TJ's just saying, is it's not restricting in any way. It's not a case of, oh, you'll lock onto an enemy from miles away and then you have to go for it. You see the reticle telling you, hey, you're going to lock onto this enemy. When you dash, you get to go through it. But it's not massively restrictive. Like, you could just decide that you're going over the top of it instead. You don't want to do that. And then you saw through the races, there are different ways through each of the levels, and you're trying to figure out, like, okay, do I want to take the golden acorns? Okay, they're turnips. But if you want to go down the golden turnips, down the bottom route, or do you want to take the swing up the top and try and get over there? So you've got the different routes that you're trying to figure out. And then as you witnessed, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to go for the swing, but the game takes you down the turnips instead. And you're like, oh, no, you got a route on the fly. And it's pretty cool how it has that aspect to it, especially in this very early stage of the game. The other thing we saw as well, we had ice physics. Ice physics was a thing. You saw the smoke that just basically gave you infinite dash, which was a lot of fun. And there was also the wormhole stages where you saw the wonderful zoom in on my face. Kudos to whoever edited that. That actually carries your momentum, and I didn't realize that at the time. So I dashed into one thinking, oh, it's going to just take me to wherever it goes. No, it launched me. And then I went off the edge and I fell down and died. And then the other time I did it, I ended up coming out of one, but having so much momentum it threw me back up into the one I came from, and then got zapped, and that's when my face was like, yeah, thanks, Gabe, like, I appreciate that. But yeah, so it's like there's a lot of really cool things built in with each of the different gimmicks, so hopefully we see more of those in the full game. And as we said, it'll be something to keep an eye on and potentially speedrun in the future.
Yeah, you talked about some of the different mechanics in it, and one that I really liked was being able to homing attack to the turnip, to the golden turnips, certain collectibles. I thought that was really cool. It reminded me a lot of like a Sonic Adventure 2 light dash, but like if it worked and wasn't terrible. So I thought that was super cool because that meant that you could have these routes. Like you're saying, there are different ways to go through the levels. You might think, okay, well, if I'm just constantly dashing over the top of the screen, that's going to be the fastest way. But then later on find out, oh, if I take this trail of the turnips, it actually zips me along. It's super fast. So maybe that's actually going to end up being faster, especially if you can avoid some enemies that way or something like that. There were definitely a lot of really cool looking mechanics in this one.
Yeah. So I have a question for both of you, Argic and TGH. As speedrunners, and since this game is just in its demo phases, the game is not out yet, what kind of advice would you have for anyone who might be interested in picking up this game as a speedrun?
You go first, Stage?
Yeah, it's I mean, that's a really hard question to answer for a specific game. Like as far as like giving advice to potential newcomers to speedrunning any game, I would say just like play the game, and like if you like it, then speedrun it. If you like it, then practice it. Especially like Dream Dasher has like at least a demo did. It has. I hope they continue to have this in the full release, but it has a really easy way to level select. Just like it's literally just like pick the stage and practice it, and the stages are short enough where you can practice the speed run in like really tight segments, which is also really important for learning for a lot of people, including myself. So like for this game specifically, honestly, just play it, use level select, and if you like it, then speed run it and have fun and go nuts with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the first thing, the main important thing I would say is play the game, and if you enjoy it, then go for it. That is like the number one most super important thing for any speedrun is enjoy the game. And we were really happy that when we played through this, that we both loved it. Like, we both had so much fun with it. And then when the idea was put out, it's like, hey, why don't we spend an hour, then we do a race? It's like, yeah, I'm down for that. Like, we got to play this game again. Like, go for it. And then that's how we got to find all this cool stuff. Like, you saw the differences between our blind race and then the practice race, where it's like we had that hour in between and we found all these different strats. We found the fact that you can diagonally downwards bounce on gloop on the water. It had like bouncy physics, which was fun. And we found out the different routes through the levels. We found out different enemies. We found out all these mechanics. So you take that time, you spend the time on the levels. Like, I don't know about you, TJ. I know I personally done more full game runs rather than specifically focusing on an individual level. And that's just because, as you mentioned in the first video, like, it was better to practice all the levels at least once or twice than focusing on one level 20 times or something.
It was really easy to do that with this just because of the level select and how short the levels were. If the levels were maybe twice the length, then it might be a little more difficult. But they're a good length. They're a good length of individual level, or IL as we call them for short.
And I think if I could to chime in right here, I think that demos in particular are like awesome for getting into speedrunning and trying out speedrunning as well. Because, hey, you can go download it for free, like from the Steam store. Then you can play through it yourself. Don't worry about going fast. Take as long as you want. Or, find somebody else to race like Argic and Tej did here. And then just do it again. And it's going to be pretty short. It's just a good taste of the game. And you just keep doing it. And eventually you'll keep getting better and better and faster. And it was really cool to see the evolution between those two runs from you two. All the like movement tech that you found on the first playthrough that was really cool. And then as it evolved, once you had about an hour to play with the game and really see what you could do with it, I think that means that the full release of this game is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So like if you take that, you take like, that's an hour's worth of practice. Imagine like a day, a week, a month. Like it's and although like, the skill ceiling is only so high, it does just get better and better, and it's fun. It's good to see and improve.
Well, thank you so much to both of you, Argic and TGH, for your fantastic insight into speedrunning and also into Super Dream Dasher. Being able to see the demo played in a more casual format and then watch a race and see the big differences between those, it's really cool. It really makes me like, man, speedrunning is really cool. Super Dream Dasher is also cool. But
it's all about improvement. Yep. Yeah. Improvement is what does it for me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that does conclude our platformer genre, and we are going to have... Oh, wait. That's wrong.
No, I think I was going to say, we got one more, assuming you can't be cutting off the platformers short. If we cut the platformers short, then all the speedrunners are going to be angry. It's like, we got to give it as much time as possible for this one.
I mean, I did the trailer skip, unfortunately.
Okay.
That's what speedrunners do, though. We keep it short, right?
Yeah, we keep it short.
Right,
Except maybe not in this way. Maybe not now, but
We are not saying goodbye to TGH and Argic because we have something coming up in which we need their expertise on. Let's take a quick look at the trailer for Rainbow Billy, The Curse of the Leviathan.
If Rainbow Billy and the Curse of the Leviathan looked interesting to you, be sure to go check it out on Steam, wishlist it, download the demo, try it out yourself. Now, for me, I thought that game, I don't know if I've ever seen a game that looks exactly like this one. Like that looks like it really much at all. We saw earlier in this section, we saw guinea pig parkour that was kind of harkening back to the animation of the 90s and whatnot. And this reminds me a lot of like animation of more recent cartoons, like the big bright colors, the snappy, playful animations and gestures and stuff, and character designs that almost harken a bit back to the old 40s cartoons as well, because I think that's where animation has been lately. I just thought that this game looked visually different from anything I've ever seen. Anybody else notice anything?
Yeah. I personally thought it looked a little bit like a mix of Cuphead meets Wind Waker.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I felt that.
It's just like the characters and the designs are very, very Cuphead, but the world itself looks like more Wind Waker style. Like, especially that water effect that they have. Like, I just immediately think, it's Wind Waker water. It's like, and it comes together nicely. You know, like I wouldn't think that those two styles could blend together like that. But here we are. We've got Rainbow Billy coming out in a mix of a black and white world, and then trying to restore the color as well, it looks very interesting because, like, obviously it seems to be kind of platformer style there mixed with mini games. It seems.
Yeah, I thought right away, like the game initially struck me as just a huge like nod to Paper Mario. To me, with like the 3D world and like the 2D sprites, even though in Paper Mario they aren't really 2D. I don't think it's just like they're meant to like have a 2D aesthetic, obviously. But and as I played the demo, and as you continue playing, it becomes a very obvious nod. All the way around to Paper Mario. The confrontation system, as it calls it, or the battle system has like the same sort of mechanics, like the timing battle systems. It's cool. And also, can I just talk for a bit about how cute the game is for a second?
Yes, please.
I describe this with 3 C's: cute, color, and character.
I was thinking cuddly was where you were going with the third one. I don't know.
Oh, no, I was.
You can add another one onto there. 4 C's. Cute character, cuddly.
The 4 C's, okay. Also, I knew this would be a really charming game. Like, not just from the very start, but one of the first things you can interact with is actually a garbage can. And you can talk to the garbage cans in this game, and the garbage can says right away, anything can be garbage if you believe in yourself.
That's the speedrunner mantra right there.
I was like, let's go. I'm ready to play this.
That's cool. I'm glad you got to actually play it. Sumi, any thoughts on Rainbow Billy before we move on?
I know that you mentioned the colors and how bright they are, and I felt that too, because, I mean, the whole plot of the game is that you're saving the characters in this game. You're saving them from the curse of the Leviathan, which cursed them to a world of black and white, by recoloring the world and through kindness. And those colors popping out the way they do, it just brightens my day, you know? It just lifts my spirits. So, and also, as you saw in the trailer, you can pet the dog in Rainbow Billy.
You can pet the dog, yep.
I think every dev has to, if you can pet the dog, it's in the trailer. Push it into the trailer as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Can you pet the pup? Pet the pupper.
Yeah, of course. Well, I want to thank both Argic and TGH for joining us for this platformer section, but sadly we have to say goodbye to you now. If you'd all quickly like to tell people where they can find you if they want to watch some cool speedruns and stuff. Let's start with Argic.
Yeah, you can find me over twitch.tv/Argic, as J-Hop says there. I do speedrun a lot, namely Sonic games, some platformers. I have a big soft spot for indie games, which is why I'm really glad to have been here with this. Expect to see lots of demos getting played over the next week for Next Fest here. It's going to be great fun.
And Tej?
Yep. Excuse me. Wow. I can't speak English as well. I also stream over at twitch.tv/TJH_SR. I do a bunch of classic Zelda speedruns, actually. I'm mainly classic Zelda speedrunner these days, although I do have also a soft spot for indie games and have speedrun a bunch of those as well. So check me out if you like that stuff.
Cool. Platformer extraordinaires, both of you, I'd say.
Yes. Thank you so much to both of you for your fantastic insight, especially into as like a speedrun, from a speedrun perspective, because, you know, speedrunning is a popular hobby, but it's also still niche. And, to get that extra insight, it always makes me feel really happy. But as J-Hops mentioned earlier, we are transitioning from our platformer genre into the RPG genre. So while we get set up with our new panel, let's take a look at some of the games in RPG.
In the latest Steam Next Fest, we're dropping a payload of fresh RPGs, like Glitched, a game where a glitch in the world causes an NPC to become aware of you, the player. Then dive headfirst into Cris Tales, an indie love letter to classic JRPGs with a stunning new perspective. Peer into the past, act in the present, and watch as your choices change the future. Venture into the world of Ys 9, Monstrum Nox, and join a party of Monstrum to stop a city from getting consumed. Then play as the devil himself in Rogue Lords, and guide the most famous evil geniuses to spread your campaign of terror and corruption. Check out the classic turn-based tactical RPG Lost Eidolons and lead your comrades on an episodic campaign to outwit, prevail, and wrest back control of the Empire. Play all of these games and so many more in Steam Next Fest.
As someone who started their speedrunning and streaming career in role-playing games, I knew this was one that I was going to be looking forward to. We are now joined by two new panelists. We have Ashwin and Pleasantly Twisted. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm really happy to be a part of the RPG panel, probably one of the really exciting ones of Next Fest, at least for me.
I'm really hyped for it. Yeah, I'm gonna say RPGs is like great genre, absolutely fun genre. Love its pieces.
A lot of great games that we got to see just a very small look at during that, initial set of trailers, would you even call them? We got about 5 seconds of each game. I want more. I just want more. But any standouts for anybody here? I know I have my few, but I'll hold back a bit. Sumi, why don't you tell me something that jumped out at you?
I am a fan of Glitched. I think Glitched when I see it, I'm like, this reminds me of a very popular game series that I love a lot. And I just love the battle system just in general. And I am a big fan of like the plot of Glitched, which is like the game is a video game world and an NPC is like, oh, whoa, you exist. Like us, the player of the demo, like you exist. They become aware, like they break the fourth wall and they become aware that you exist. And you work together with Gus, the NPC, who becomes not an NPC, to save Gus's hometown. And I'm just a big fan of that.
Yeah, fourth wall breaks are really cool. I thought also Rogue Lords jumped out to me a lot because I like when a game just decides to abandon the concept of the player as like a hero or tries to flip what the meaning of that is on its head. And also, like, can we talk about how those are some hot demons that we got going on in that little look? All right, okay, we got hot demons. I need more of them.
Now I know what J-Hobbs is into. Everybody
Hot
clip
demons.
this right
Let's
now.
do it.
Hot demons.
Fire emojis going all over the place. Like, I think, but yeah. So Ash, for you in particular, what jumped out at you, either about those games or one of the other ones we just saw?
Oh, Glitched. It had to be Glitched. For me, the colors, the combat, it's a nod to a very self-aware genre that kind of started it. I really think it's a nod to Earthbound, which makes me really excited because it's like, how are they going to build on that game mechanic? Mm-hmm. The fact that they're aware that you exist, the fourth wall is broken. And you get to interact not only with the main character, but then you get to play through the main character to influence like his relationships with people in town and in the universe around him. And the best part is there are no game overs. You just play the game. Whatever happens, you have to live through the consequences and outcomes of it. So I find that incredibly fascinating. And as the Steam page says, and you will go and see what are the selling points of this game, one word: frogs.
Frogs. Okay.
That's it. Frogs.
Twisted, I was saving you for last because I know that there's one game in particular that you want to jump into. We'll talk more about it later as well, but go ahead. We'll give you your moment immediately to let everyone know.
Well, I was going to say I'm going to have to hop on the same boat as you, Hobbs, because I am all in for Rogue Lords. Because when I first saw that a while back, it gave me a lot of vibes of like, you have your turn-based combat and everything, but it kind of made me think a little bit about Darkest Dungeon and how you're not just a player and you're the hero and you're out to save everyone and punch the heavens and do all that stuff, but you're actually doing something, in this case, a lot more diabolical because you're playing as a demon overlord and you're trying to get these different fantastical beasts and hot demons specifically to do your bidding to go take over the earth. Like, that's the whole premise of it. So you're beating up people because you're like, I want to take over the world. And when your demons die, they don't actually die. They just kind of keep throwing themselves at stuff, but as your demons take damage when they're out of health, it starts pulling from your health. So the game officially resets when you, as the demon overlord, run out of, I forget what it's actually called, it's like spiritual points or something like that, and then you just go back to the beginning, and they don't view it as a game over. It says, well, that plan didn't work. All right, let's recruit Dracula. Let's get Vladimir and, the succubuses and stuff back out there. We're just going to try again. And
the succubuses and stuff. What a phrase.
Succubuses and friends. It's succubi and friends. They're out to take over the world.
I was just about to say, I think the plural is succubi, but I'm not sure. I was about to look it up.
You know what? Either or, that's fine.
Either
this is
or.
perfectly fine. We're going to go either or. But yeah, succubi and friends, the game. I'm completely on board for this.
I love it.
Also, there were a few different ones there too. Ys 9 Monstrum Nox was one that I have heard about the Ys series for so long now and never really jumped into it myself. I've always been tempted because I've liked what I've seen in the past. And like now I get my chance. I could go right after this, right now, to Steam and download the free demo for Ys 9 and give it a shot with kind of not having to stress so much about paying for the full game yet or anything like that. And I'm expecting to fully enjoy it and then become absorbed and then buy an entire series. But, we'll find out after I get a chance to play it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Ys. It's a very popular RPG series. My friend Boney plays the games all the time, and so does my friend Prophesize. Big fan of watching them play the game. But for this one, it's pretty cool because you can pick one of 6 different notorious monstrum because the game is called Monstrum Nox. So you pick a monstrum. They all have unique gifts and like abilities, and you use those abilities to protect your city from evil. And like I mentioned before, the ability to like pick what abilities you use as opposed to getting a set of skills that you can't really change, like that is a big draw to me. So I'm very excited.
For sure. Lost Eidolons, I thought was also pretty neat. This pool of tactical RPGs has always felt like really small, I think, and always just hungry to see more of them. And then Cris Tales, some really cool animation we saw there, but I know we're gonna see a little bit more about that one coming up soon. So we'll kind of save the discussion there a little bit. But why don't we go ahead and move into our first trailer that we're going to look at here in the RPG genre. We're going to take a look at Trigon Space Story first, which is a cool, kind of space management game. Let's take a look.
Become a spaceship captain and lead your crew through tactical battles and uncover the mysteries surrounding the Star of Trigon in Trigon Space Story, coming out later this year. You can wishlist it on Steam and you can play the demo right now because, like every other game mentioned in this festival live stream, there is a demo available for you to play right now. Personally, I'm a fan of the ability to lead a crew into, new territories and explore. What do you think you like the most about the game, Twisted?
So this game, on a very, very real tangent, isn't really my cup of tea, but it's definitely something I can see appealing to a lot of people who are into the faster of light genre and everything, because you have your space management, you have your ability to build up more and more on your actual spaceships and everything. I'm not sure if it was really clear through that too, but is there a way to even get different spaceships and more spaceships? Because that would add a lot to the variability as well. And I can see this being something that's a really, really big hit for people who want to play much more of that business management style role-playing game that are going to be involved in and having to build up and kind of work towards in order to do your ultimate goal, whatever that goal may be in Trigon. Because right now it looks like you're kind of doing the Space Renegade thing, but I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You get to do all the things that you mentioned. You get to upgrade the ship. There are different types of ships that you can use, and like you mentioned as well, there's like FTL vibes from this game, right? Like faster than light. And I know that Ashwin had a couple of things to say about it. What are your thoughts on the game?
Okay, let me pitch this. I think a lot of us have probably grown up with a space show one way or another. And so a lot of these have even influenced how we probably wanted to be in space ourselves. What if we were on a spaceship? What if we were out there on the frontiers exploring the galaxy? This game is exactly that. It gives you the ability to sort of like step into a captain role and then decide what the captain is going to be like and how they interact with their crew members, how they affect the morale of their crew members. And then by affecting the morale of their crew members, obviously that will play out in the fights to come. And so like think of it kind of like a captain of a spaceship simulator where you get to role play the kind of captain that you want to be. And the really nice thing about this, and like you said, it's a nod to like FTL and the safe space management of things, it's a lot cleaner of a UI. You're not bombarded with so much information at first. It's all things that you can come into. It's very approachable. It's very clean, which might help make it a more immersive game overall, and just allow us to feel like we can sort of influence how we want our captain to play things out. And there's 4 different races. The universe is inhabited for 4 different races, so that's really exciting. Just to see where your decisions lead you to. And it's not just about the randomly generated galaxy and the spaceships that you can upgrade, but those pivotal decisions that you'll make as a captain in your spaceship.
I never thought about that before. Yeah,
it's got some real big Paragon Renegade energy, and it's like, are you the cool space captain or are you that space captain?
Right. I know, it makes me think of like, I never thought about it as, do I want to be like Nathan Fillion from Firefly, or am I being a Captain Kirk or something? Like how am I going to control this? And for me, this is the kind of game that is perfect for me when I need like a chill day, like an off-stream game that I can just totally like focus on and have a fun distraction for the day and lose myself in. And I think that like that's what I would do with a game like this one for sure.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we have a lot of RPGs available to try out now. If you're interested in managing your own team, being the Captain Kirk of your own crew, go ahead and check out Trigon Space Story. But we have another game, and we have some great gameplay in store for you as well by Ashwin. Let's take a quick look at Cris Tales with some live commentary from us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so set us up a little bit. The record. I know Twisted is already exciting. I can't contain it. But why don't you set us up a little bit for how recording this went?
Well, it was really great. You jump right into the game, and as you notice, you're right in combat. At playing as an incredibly stylish girl known as Cris Bell, she wields a longsword, two-handed, and she has a little frog companion wielding a little bit of a top hat here. His name is Matthias. Instantly launched into a fight sequence, so that's great. It's like, right off the ground running, you're fighting what seems to be a pair of goblins and sort of getting a feel for the game. Pretty straightforward in terms of like attacks, and different skills patterns that you have. And you're joined by a companion called Christopher, kind of comes out of nowhere, and you start to realize, well, this is a party game. You can have members as a part of your party to take on these various enemies. Incredibly, these two are first boss that we kind of see, the Volcano Gals. Incredible personalities, and one of the first things that jumps out at me, other than just the combat, is the voice acting.
Yes! I was hoping you would mention
the
that.
voice acting.
I was so excited when Cris Tales first talked and and there was voiceover. I was like, yes! Yes!
It's
What
wild.
jumped out at me? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, well, the big thing with the voice acting that got me is the fact that the entire game is going to be voice acted. Like, every single person, like, they really bought in the big guns for all of this. And then what were you going to say, Hobbs? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's totally fine. I mean, that's the nature of doing these online, right? But I totally noticed immediately. I think it's fun when we all notice different things. I noticed the animations in this game. There's no animation that's like phoned in, you know, where you're just kind of sliding across a screen or whatever. It's everything looks like it has a ton of character to it, and you can tell that they really they had a very big key point of nailing those animations, and I think they did just that, whether it's in these cutscene sequences like we're seeing now, or in the actual gameplay when you choose an attack and you see that little like glimpse of the character attacking. I just thought every animation looked really cool.
Yeah. I wanted to take a moment to like kind of jump in as well and talk about just the art style in general. The aesthetic is fantastic because it has kind of like that combination of cell shading, but then it also has kind of like that paper cutout style that's really, really intricate and well put together. And it just has such a good cohesive feel to it. And you can see the personalities of everybody coming through, even in just their designs. Like the biggest thing for me personally was the art. Like I love how this game looks.
I think the music looks beautiful.
I thought it was the future.
Go ahead, Ash.
I was just like the whole time. Yeah, no, it's okay. I think we're all really excited about Cris Tales here. So yeah, the music really complements the art style as well. So you really feel like yourself so drawn to this game.
So does someone want to take a moment to talk about like the 3 slices that we have going on here and some of the mechanics that's going on with that? Because I think that's really pivotal to the gameplay as well, because it deals with time travel, but it's not nearly as like dynamic as I just said it. It's a lot more straightforward.
Yeah, I would love an explanation of that because all I've seen is this gameplay and the trailer myself, and time splitting mechanics are the most mind-boggling things in games, but usually, like in this case, it looks like in the best way it kind of works out to be like that. So yeah, please, somebody let us know a bit more about it.
I will definitely be able to talk about it and probably even twist it. But basic combat right off the bat, but then you walk into this cathedral and you realize you have powers. And these powers, as you see the viewfinder, it's a little bit of a triangle view that you get here. On the left, you start to realize everything on the left of the viewfinder is the past. Everything on the right of the viewfinder is the future, and everything within the triangle is the present. And you have abilities called, I can't remember right now what they're exactly called, but they're time powers that allow Cris Tales to see possible futures. And with the help of her companion, the frog, Matthias, he can jump into the past and reveal it for you. So like as you're walking in the world, you can like decide to jump into the past, or you can jump into the future and decide to see what the future looks like. So in this combat right here, Cris Tales is about to jump into the past, which makes this goblin young, which gives her an advantage in that combat. And she can also go into the future, which makes the goblins older, which means they're more vulnerable to specific things. Also really interesting to know, and it took me a really long time to realize when I was walking around the world, is that all of this is in real time. So as you're walking around as Cris Tales with these powers, you can see how the city looked like in the past and in the future and in the present all at the same time. And that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's cool. I love what you do here in this combat encounter about how if you hit them with water here, it will get the shield wet, right? Because they've been putting up the shield. But then jumping into the future actually rusts the shield. And that just being, I think that's like one of the very few mechanics we've seen, interactions we've seen with the time jumping. Yeah. And I know that they must have a bunch more in that same toolbox. Which is really, I feel like it'd be really exciting to just discover more and more ways to use that to speed up these encounters.
I think
Yeah,
another
in the chat.
Go ahead, Subi.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. In the chat, Orny said this is really a labor of love, and it shows. And I totally agree. Just like all the mechanics are very well thought out. The graphics are great. Watching Matthias go into the past and be like a half tadpole, and then be in the future and be like kind of like a bigger frog. Like I love that.
And I think
Sorry,
one of the
Twisted, go
other
ahead.
things, no, you're fine. I was gonna say with the time mechanics too, something else that's really interesting is that time mechanic isn't just for battle. You use that for your actual side quests and everything too. So as you're walking around town, and this is like the RPG player's labor of love, walking around trying to decide what side quests you want to do, you can go back to the past to see what caused an issue that might be going on, and you can also hop in the future to get a glimpse of the outcome if you choose to actually fix it or actually just completely ignore it. So it gives you that kind of outcome to kind of figure out, okay, well, do I need to handle this right now, or do I need to go ahead and look at something else to do? Because you can still like de-age people that are in the town, bring them back down to their childhoods and everything, and talk to them to get some insight, or you can even look at it in the future and then get feedback from them and see how bad is this future outcome. And it also starts gating off things too, depending on those decisions that you make. So the time mechanic, I think, is really, really cool, and it's really dynamic.
Yeah, that's super neat. I hadn't thought about being able to see the outcome of how you helped that person. Like maybe you did make the wrong decision there, the wrong call, and being able to see that before you make it. Like that's really, really weird and really cool and intriguing. And I guess I'll have to download the demo and then find out exactly what that means for some of these side quests.
Yeah, it's a really strong demo. I highly recommend it. I've played it twice through. Please help me.
Oh, you played.
Go ahead.
Will there be a third time?
Yes, I will be playing it again. It's been wishlisted for a while, a long while. Play Cris Tales.
Ash, what were you going to say there?
Oh, it's just the excitement of exploring 3 timelines at once and the dangers of it. And then also feeling the burden as this young girl who has to make these choices as well. And I think that's so incredible. I think it's really, really a wonderful mechanic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's very
definitely
cool.
interested in seeing the story. I want to learn more about Chris Bell and the relationship to Christopher, and also Wilhelm, the big revered wizard. Definitely interested in seeing how that plays out.
Oh my God, the title is the word crystals. I just got it. Okay, it's Cris Tales. It's crystals. I didn't get that until right now. Okay, I understand because they talk about like crystals and stuff in the demo. I totally didn't get that until right now. Flew right over my head. Now that's really cool. Maybe we move on now so that I can be a little bit less embarrassed.
It's okay, I'm embarrassed with you because that's why I just made that face. I was like,
But we have to eventually move on from Cris Tales. You all don't have to if you don't want to. You can go to the Steam store, go download the demo, try it yourself, wishlist it so that you can know when the game fully comes out. And, buy it, play the full thing, and tell all your friends. But we're going to move on now to another trailer here. We have a trailer for Frontier Hunter, Urza's Wheel of Fortune.
peaceful.
With the invention of the airship, people became able to fly across continents, and Urza leads one of the exploration teams to new lands. In Frontier Hunter, Urza's Wheel of Fortune. You can try out the demo now on Steam and wishlist the game if you're interested. One person I will definitely name, whose name is Sent in production, said that he was super excited for this game, but he wanted to proxy through Twisted, who will go ahead and talk about the game. Twisted, tell us a little bit more about Frontier Hunter, Urza's Wheel of Fortune.
So beyond the usual trope of having too many words in the title, it definitely looks like a fun RPG that I'm going to be getting into immediately, if not sooner. I especially like the aesthetic of it, but then on top of that, it reminds me a lot of, people are kind of mentioning this in chat as well. It reminds me a little bit of Lodos War Deedlit, or some of the games that you see from Inti Creates like Toho Luna Nights, in that it has a little bit of that bullet hell aesthetic, but it also has kind of that adventure styling, and you're just doing the 2D side scroll, gonna jump around, beat up stuff, and just be real big anime hours. But then the RPG parts of it is that you still are building your character and trying to make them stronger and more powerful and do more with magic. I am most interested in switching between the three characters, because the thing that really caught my eye the most was walking around. It's like, I'm fantasy girl, I have sword, I beat up stuff, and then next cutscene, gun. And I was like, I don't know anything about this, but I am interested and I want more of it, please and thank you. So yes,
she pulls out a bazooka out of nowhere, and I'm just like, wait, I thought she was a sword wielder. I guess she does both.
Yeah, and it's three different characters that you're playing as in that too. So you have a sword wielder, you have someone that's a little bit more range, and then you have gun. And I just, the gun, it threw me for such a loop, because it's just, everything is so fantasy oriented. And then all of a sudden, had those airships, we also have this guy. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And it's definitely going to be for people who are into RPGs, but then want a little bit, just a touch of that action side of it as well.
There was some jamming music in that trailer. I thought that was fantastic. Like, just whoever both made that song and then also decided that's going to be the one for the trailer. Good job, because that was that was perfect. I thought that one was great.
Ash, what are your thoughts?
I actually really just enjoyed the variety of like the combat that you have, like the different kinds of party members that you could just switch out to. You're like, okay, I'm encountering these enemies now that like suddenly are using frost against me. Like, what am I going to do? Like, this character just doesn't seem to have the abilities to deal with it. So you swap out and you're like, okay, let's tackle this from like a different approach. And the quick swap between those is so natural and so nice. It just makes it kind of, I feel like I'm a kid again and I'm playing through 2D side scrolls and just like clearing waves and waves of enemies, and then at my own style and my own pace. And I think that's really great. And just keep throwing them at me. I'll just keep finding new ways to beat down the enemies.
Right. On the fly character swapping, it can always lead to just so much variety in the way that you handle. Like you said, I think it's almost more interesting the way you handle enemy mobs and stuff than the boss encounters at times, because because if they give you a bunch of enemies to attack, you're gonna want to mix it up. You don't want to just sit there and just, mash one button and keep attacking. You're gonna want to mix up and see what you can do, how stylish you can be, and maybe how efficiently you can get through them so you can get to that next boss encounter or what have you. So I think that's really cool too.
Really
awesome,
excited
cool.
about
Well,
it.
I do think that closes out our RPG genre. If I'm reading this time, I do believe that is the end of our RPG genre, which also means that we unfortunately have to say goodbye to Ashwin and Pleasantly Twisted. Ladies, thank you so much for all of your great insight and for your great gameplay of Cris Tales, and to see your passion for Cris Tales. It's very infectious. Thank you.
Thank you for having us once again.
Yeah. Did you have anything that you wanted to say to, I see a lot of fans for both of you in the chat. You have anything you want to say to them, or maybe plug yourself? Tell us about like yourself and anywhere that we can find you.
Ashwin, I'll say you go first. This way we don't talk over each other.
Okay, perfect. Ashwin, variety streamer. I recently started diving into the Final Fantasy series, so that's been a really wonderful one to unpack. Also a speedrunner, Dark Souls in particular, and just to my community that always come out to do whatever I am doing and supporting me. Love you all. You're fantastic. But you can find me more on twitch.tv/Ashwin, always unpacking a new adventure and trying something new.
And you can find me everywhere as Pleasantly Twisted. Do not put your vowels in Twisted, because whatever you find, it is not me and I don't know them. I do a lot of RPGs on my channel, along with a lot more of the roguelikes and Metroidvania. So some days you might come in and we're playing Final Fantasy VI. Other days you might come in and we're doing Soul Level 1 runs of Dark Souls 3. Sky's the limit. It just depends on the mood and what's going on with the calendar and everything. I also do a lot in terms of writing about games, and then I just did a mountain of coverage for E3. So if you're into watching someone get really geeky about how much the weebs are thriving in E3, definitely check out my content and everything, and then follow me around on all those places, and you'll get to see fun stuff and maybe occasionally cats and hairstyles.
I heard a lot of Dark Souls and then Metroidvanias. I'm like, all right, I'm sold. I'm gonna check this out later. Well, thank you both again so much for being on. We're gonna move on to our next genre here, which is gonna be the adventure genre. Let's take a look at some of the games that are going on during Steam Next Fest. You can go download the demos right now.
Step into the weird and the wild in the latest and greatest adventure games of Steam Next Fest. Starting with Omno, a single-player journey of discovery through an ancient world of wonders. Then drop right into The Gap, a sci-fi narrative thriller that'll have you exploring parallel realities through deja vu to salvage your memories. When classic adventure meets side-scrolling beat-em-up, there's only one gator detective up to the task, Brock the Investigator. Guide two completely different characters on an adventure about friendship and teamwork in Leaf's adventure, Netherworld Hero. Then glide across vast deserts and landscapes riddled with fallen spaceships in Sable. Play all of these games and so many more in Steam Next Fest.
Life is an adventure, and there are plenty of games for you to enjoy. Check out the adventure genre on the Steam Next Fest page on the Steam client and enjoy some fantastic adventure games. Here to talk with us about some of these adventure games are Spike. Sorry. Excuse me. We have Spike.
I know. I make people breathless as well. I get it. I understand.
I looked at Spike and I haven't seen him. I was about to say I haven't seen him for so long, but I saw him this morning during rehearsal. So Spike Vegeta.
So that's
and
a lie.
Daniel
We
the
don't
Demon.
tell them here.
How you doing?
I'm a liar, but welcome to both of you, Spike Vegeta and Daniel the Demon, our adventure genre panelists, and will be taking us throughout the rest of the stream. What's up, gentlemen?
Chilling. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. It's been a fun day. We gotten to see a lot of games for Steam Next Fest. A lot of indie games that are going to be coming out soon and have a lot of demos and everything. I don't know how much you all have been kind of preparing versus being able to tune in yourselves. Has there been anything so far that we already covered that you're not going to get to talk about in this segment that you just want to call out real quick? You really like?
God, give me Tiny Thor right now. I would play that start to finish. I would binge the heck out of that game right now. Let me throw Mjolnir. We talked about it, Hobbs, beforehand, because our speedrunner brains were already like, oh, we're going to like bounce the hammer off the corners and it's going to like skip a bunch of stuff. It's going to be cool. I love gushing about video games, thinking, how can I play less of it as a speedrunner? It's great. No, tons and tons of cool games that have been shown so far.
Daniel, anything jump out of you?
No, for me, definitely Severed Steel and the basketball game. I don't know what that one's called. I'm so sorry.
Grapple Hoops.
That one looks so sick, dude. When I was seeing Brian going in there, I was like, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't wait.
Well, we are going to see even more new games that we can get excited about here by taking a look again at, we got to see just some of the adventure games like Omno, The Gap, Brock the Investigator, Sable. There was a bunch of stuff that we saw right there. What was jumping out at you all from that just initial look?
God,
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, about to say, we could talk about like really any of these games. I thought it was, because a lot of these other games, like a platformer, an RPG, one of these, like there's kind of an initial, like there's a lot of just kind of sensory overload that's thrown at you quite a bit, and that hooks you on the trailer. Adventure games have to do a little bit something a little different, a little bit more mysterious. So I look at a game like Omno, where the character you play as might not seem like there's much going on right there. You're almost like hobbling around a little bit, and you have this one little staff, but it's so multifunctional, all the things that the staff does for you, that it gave me visions of like Breath of the Wild when you just go shield surfing everywhere, that it turns into something you're riding around on all this different terrain and all these different areas in this gorgeous world. Gives me a lot of almost like Journey vibes to it from the PS3 era, going around in it. But it's not just a beautiful world with how that staff reacts as sometimes something you ride on, or something that you use that kind of allows you to float in midair, or almost like catch these like beams of light that allow you to just zip all across the world. It's not only a beautiful world to look at, it's a beautiful world to get to move around in, and that makes it super, super fun. On top of all like the cool, like gigantic, the scope of the creatures and everything, Omno definitely jumped out at me as one of the standouts of this group, and I think they're all great.
Yeah. Daniel, what was looking good to you?
For me, on the same spectrum, I would say Sable is another game that looks just like, wouldn't say just like, but it gives a good feeling like Journey does, where you're diving deep. The art style is just gorgeous. I haven't seen games like that. It's very drawn. I love the music, especially for the trailer. The music for the trailer just makes me want to cry. It's so good. It's in a sci-fi futuristic world, almost post-apocalyptic. It's very, 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 I don't know, it's like relaxing yet very eerie. I love it. It gives me also a very Gris feeling. I don't know why, but it does. It's really cool. And then I know, sorry.
No, I see that. I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, you were going to say.
I was just going to say, I can't wait to check it out, because I know you can download the demo right now. So I want to definitely be able to play that soon.
Sable is, I will try to restrain myself, because I could go on about this for a while, but I want to know what that art style is called. I don't know what it is, but if that game had just been like 2D, for example, I don't think that the art style would have jumped out at me quite as much. But as soon as we got that camera angle change, like where we saw the speeder moving along from the side, and we could see this really edge highlighted art style in full 3D, and some camera work that clearly shows that the devs knew what they were doing with that in order to use that to the best effect. I thought that was just a really great moment. It really gripped me, and I almost don't even want to play the game. I just want Shedworks to just go make a movie in that style and just go watch it.
I'd watch it. Let's go. Midnight showing. Let's do it.
Exactly. But I'll have to settle for playing the game. I know there were more though than just the two we're calling out here. Sumi, what else was good for you?
I'm a fan of Leaf's Adventure, Neverworld Hero, because it's a story-driven, cooperative action-adventure game that features two protagonists that are very different, and they're teaming up together. And I'm very, very excited for split-screen co-op, which is something that the devs are putting into the game. I want to sit down with my friends and play some video games, and that sounds like the perfect chill, relax, hang out, hang out and play some video games together.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I like that for the two different characters, but you have your one almost like, a Link, your standard protagonist, but then you have this other character, and I find like a lot of games, when they try to make that a co-op, they don't necessarily hit it. The other person just feels like they're not doing anything. The trailer showed off a lot of cool stuff, how they were messing with the environment to affect the combat, like when it dropped down on the spider and everything. Just like ways that'll help you solve puzzles. I think that is a super, super good couch co-op game.
Yeah, the mechanics look sick on the bosses, like where you have to be able to climb up them and stab them in the head and stuff like that. It's just bonkers.
I wish we had time to cover all of these games in detail, because The Gap and Brock the Investigator both looked really cool as well. Be sure to check them all out. Again, you can go to the Steam client and click on the page or the banner there in the store that shows you the Steam Next Fest event that we got going on all week. You can see a lot of the different games, but we do need to take a look at some of these games more in depth. So let's take a look at a trailer for Metallic Child, new game coming up soon.
テーションから地球の IBC に変更。接続中。無線機能まで壊れてしまったの。それともあなたは？私はここで必ず解決しなければならないことがある。現在遠隔操作しか受け付けない状態となってしまいました。どうか私のミッションを助けてください。私の行動を妨げるアンドロイドたちです。彼らのコードネームはメタリックチャイルド。人間の需要に応じて作られたアンドロイド。そして私は最初のメタリックチャイルドです。ピノキオは人間ではないという理由で人々からいじめられました。あなたがゼペットだったらどうしたと思いますか？あなたの子供がみんなと異なるという理由でいじめられたとしたら。ごめんなさい。こうするしかありませんでした。たとえあなたが私の立場でもこうしたはずです。あなたを大切にし愛してくれる人のために。
If Metallic Child looks like it's right up your alley, be sure to go try out the demo right now in the Steam store. Now, listen, I am by no means, for anybody who knows me, I am not the anime guy here. So this was never going to like make my short list. But I'll say that suit up sequence with the different weapons, that got me a little curious. I'm not gonna lie. And it's a really bold move to end that trailer on a somber note too. I think that's a weird decision and a very intriguing one. But who had other thoughts on Metallic Child here? I mean, Daniel, you have anything?
Yeah. For me, I would honestly like just give this genre the chaotic, cute sci-fi hack and slash beat 'em up bullet hell. Like straight up, that is what it looks. It looks like it has an in-depth story, random item distribution. From what I'm seeing, like you said, there has different weapons which can then give a bunch of numerous amount of combos. I saw that you can use enemies as as shields and be able to throw them at other enemies, which is going to be nuts. What else here? I saw her eating something like an orb. I don't know, and it'd be able to give you core levels. So it seems like there's an upgrading system that'll allow you to become stronger throughout your runs. Tons of upgrades and stuff like that. So I cannot wait to hear more about it.
Yeah, I used the old adage earlier when we were talking sensory overload, and that's what this was. There's so much going on in the combat here. It almost gives me almost like a little bit of if Mega Man went isometric and was roguelite, I was seeing a little bit of that there with like the music style and everything, all of the different weapon styles you could go for with the different hammers and different blasters and everything. And the fact that like there's also on top of that, by the way, it's also a shooter that you going down hallways and stuff. Lots of upgrade systems. This could have popped up in the RPG section earlier on that you guys were showing. Lots of cool stuff here. Definitely, if you're into roguelites, I would check this one out.
I think
definitely got roguelite features from or vibes from this game. And like J Hobbs mentioned earlier, I'm very excited to learn more about the story. I love story, I love cutscenes, and I love learning about the characters. And to know that, Metallic Child is fighting androids is like, that's one thing because she is an android. But at the same time, she's also fighting against androids that are sent by her own creator. So when she talks about Geppetto and Pinocchio, she's referring to her own creator, Dr. Irene. So learning, about how they came to square off against each other and why the Earth was about to get destroyed is something I'm most interested in.
I liked how I'm taking a look at the chat here, and we got some of our previous panelists, Ashwin and Argic, talking about how the character almost looks like it has the same power fantasy of Poppy from League of Legends. For anybody who's played that, where you're just this small, cute character beating everybody up with a big hammer. Like it's just that sounds like a pretty fun time to me.
Can I just take a second to just give a shout outs to everyone? Obviously, all these games, they look super fun. Got to play a couple of them earlier. Very, very fun. I want to give a shout out to everybody who made all the trailers for all these different games, because there are a lot of bad movie and video game trailers out there. And this is just banger after banger after banger that we talk about. Again, like so much noise. Like, oh, look at all these gameplay mechanics. Look at all this stuff coming on. And in the last 30 seconds, just the confidence to go as silent as it did to make you focus on, beyond this, like Sumi's talking about, there's a deep story, this Geppetto but Pinocchio dynamic that we want to delve into. So if, you need a little bit of story, we got that here for you as well. Super cool stuff.
So cool.
Yeah, we're going to have to move on, sadly, because we do have more games we want to show off. Now, Spike, you actually got a chance to play some Ember Knights and have a couple of your friends play Ember Knights as well and commentate a race of yet another roguelite here that they were doing. We're going to watch that one right now and hope you all enjoy.
Hi guys, what's up? I am Spike Vegeta, and I guess I'm going to be your commentator today, going through this hype race of Ember Knights. Do both of our participants want to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Nuclear Reaction.
And I am Fant. Hello.
Yeah, about to play through this fun-looking, looks like a little bit of a roguelike. A lot of fun-looking combat in here. A lot of enemies all over the screen, having to survive through these randomly generated rooms. Are you both ready to throw down?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Let's go.
I am. I couldn't be more ready, Spike.
We are pumped. All right, let's get it started. I'll count y'all down in 3, 2, 1, go.
Uh-oh. I had to click on the game.
Fan take. We'll say Fan cheated through that one. How dare we go on go? My gosh. So let's see what we got here. Again, randomly generated rooms, so we're having to also react to what we see right here. Let's see also what each of you decided for each of your power-ups. Looks like Nukes, you started with the bomb.
Of course I did. That'd be explosive.
And it looks like Fan, you taken maybe, I think that's the Inferno you took.
I took the Quake. That it does like an AoE stun of a whole bunch of enemies.
Oh yeah, the Fissure. Yeah, those look really good. Yeah. Looking through the game earlier, it looks like they're both primarily looking for these portals that will allow them to move on to the next floor. Looks like here, at least in the first level, they've got to find a key in order to unlock other parts of the map. Very fun-looking game. Y'all enjoying yourself so far? Oh, go ahead.
These spinny guys are a little spooky.
Oh, yeah, a little spicy, like seeing the new enemies right here. See Fant facing some new enemies as well.
Oh, a shop. Well, I do not have enough money.
Yeah, these big enemies.
They hit hard.
Oh, they do.
They hit hard. I am not doing so great here now. Oh, the spiders are mean.
Wow, both these players, you're all clutching it out right now. My gosh, this game doesn't heck around.
This is tough. I haven't played 2B roguelikes, but man, I'm at 19 HP.
This is a lot of fun, though, I have to say. Oh, no!
Our first death of the race.
Oy.
I wonder if as you go through the game, you'll be able to like upgrade any of your weapons and everything. Maybe at least like lower the cooldown on them or something.
Whoa, jeez, this game. I'm terrified every single time.
All right, here we go. What am I gonna get? Energy Stone for crit damage or Hellfire Core? Killing enemies has a 25% chance to burn nearby enemies.
Oh, I found a boss. I found a boss. Bitty boss, Vampire Moth.
Oh no.
My stun didn't work.
And both him and the Vampire Moth sitting there at low health.
Oh jeez.
That
my
sucking
heart.
attack. Oh my goodness.
No!
Oh! Oh, I needed that. I'm sorry, Fan. Not to celebrate you dying.
From a fan standpoint, that was so sad, but from the race's standpoint, that is awesome.
I have 37, and I'm not very happy about that, but I think I have to move forward.
At the boss.
All right, attempt number 2 at the Vampire Moth.
Oh my god, that hurt.
Reading the different attacks from the Vampire Moth.
Got him.
Oh, very nice. Vampire Moth is down. Boss 1 down for Fant.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Get that chicken. Get that chicken. No. No.
Oh. They cornered the chicken.
Oh, they cornered
Perfect
the chicken.
zoning.
I'm just terrified at every second because right now I'm in basically one-hit KO. Leave. So I'm just like taking my time, gonna use my ability to stun. Oh, there's more of them.
It's gonna write a book one day, 4 HP in a dream.
Oh, it got me.
There it is. Oh my goodness.
That's so tough. And then, yeah, I think we're just back to start.
Well, the thing I really like what you can do is you can take that dash attack and you can kind of bake it into your combo. So you can like start with the dash and then immediately go into like a 4-hit combo there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's very satisfying. Just watching it, that seems very satisfying to me.
I'm a little scared of this vampire moth I have not seen yet.
I believe in you, Nix. You got this.
You have to kind of learn what are. There we go. Okay, so we could purchase more power. I am for sure gonna buy that. And heal. I have enough to buy all of these things actually.
Good news. Fans sitting here on the boss as well. Vampire Moth down to half health.
I am searching everything for some morsel of health.
The battle.
All right.
All right,
Got
Fan.
him.
Taking the W over the Vampire Moth. Dropping some health.
I just want this to be the urn so bad.
I still just love how excited we get seeing the chicken on the ground.
Yeah, the chicken's the best part, dude.
I needed it. I'm in.
Just like in Castlevania, you know, finding the chicken in the wall.
Oh yeah. Same vibe.
It's like, well, that's probably realistically disgusting, but I'm popping off over it.
All right, he is dead.
On the first try, both of our players passed the Vampire Moth. A little spicy there.
All right.
Hey, there's a key.
Yeah, this is not a game that wants you to rush through it. It wants you to be slow and methodical and take out all these enemies, having to clear the rooms. You can't exactly avoid combat in this game. You get locked into every room you go into. And the game does not give you a lot of health to work with, so definitely a challenge given to us. Oh, Nuke's taking the death.
Oh. I think we'll let, at this point, maybe let Fant finish out his run. I don't think I'll catch up at this point, but...
What'd you think overall? What was your experience like?
I really want to keep playing this. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'd love to see more. I'd love to play with other people, too. I can, sitting here, there's obviously options for up to 4 players to play.
Let's go.
Let's go in. Let's see what the first big boss is.
Oh, it's a big boy.
Oh, it's huge. The Corrupted Weaver. Double the HP bar. Good tells on the claw swipe, on its AoE, the pillar attack all around it.
Still hitless.
Don't know what this is. Oh, God.
Uh-oh. Oh, the babies!
Oh, throwing out its babies. Oh, and it's going with you.
Ooh, 11 HP! You the
one! 1 HP in a dream! Oh, that was the only corner you could go to.
Yeah, I got cornered.
I
GG.
feel like both of you did a really good job getting as deep as you did into the game in this short recording session we're doing. Fant, I feel like I wasn't asking you a ton of questions because I feel like you were always at 1 HP. What was your feeling getting to play this?
No, it was fun. It was, you know, like all the staples of a roguelike, you know, tough as nails, you know, going through room by room, you know, trying to deal with, you know, what the game gives you and trying to, you know, just do best with the power-ups you're going to. You have so many decisions to make, like, I can get this upgrade, but then I have to fight some enemies, and, you know, is it worth it? Am I good enough to actually do that, to go get that item that could help me later? It's so tough and nerve-wracking at the same time. So I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that as the person who wasn't even playing tonight, that was a ton of fun to watch. Again, shout outs to both Nukes and Fant, our two competitors tonight. It sounds like you both had a really good time in this game. Yeah, I'm the same. I want to play these. I want to get in groups. I want to do this in like 4-player co-op.
Yes.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we'll set a date night for it.
Yes, I definitely would love to get back together and us all get in on the game.
Yeah. But with that, we're going to kick it back up to the front. I want to let future Spike Vegeta know I love that shirt. You're looking good, buddy. And yeah, send it back up to the front. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Later.
And thank you, Past Spike. Great job. You know what? You had the wonderful shirt that day. Loving the look of the Donkey Kong shirt. And you called the heck out of a great race there of Ember Knights. Obviously, we got to play a little bit of it. I got to play a little bit of the game as well. Super, super fun roguelite. For, you know, Hobbs, Sumi, Dan, what'd you guys think getting to watch the show?
Yeah, Daniel in particular, I want to hear your thoughts first, I think.
I'm a huge roguelite fan, and seeing that was spectacular. The art style, the movement, the iframes in there, the fact that you can play with 3 other friends to be able to just battle it out, and that you're different colors and you're all running around. Your little fire wisp is so cute, but it looks extremely hard. And I love games that like just punish you consistently so that you can just feel really rewarding when you finish it. So I'm stoked on this game just from the look of it. I've already added it on my wish list. Just from watching this trailer, I'm excited.
Yeah, if you like hard as nails roguelites, it took us an hour and we did not get a clear of the demo of going through that first world. You saw a Fant back there trying to take on that first boss. Came very, very close. But the game, you know, it's tough. Harkens back to a lot of retro games. Doesn't drop a ton of health for you, so you're constantly figuring out how to min-max every room you're in. How do you maximize that damage? And how do you not lose that precious 100 health that you get to start the game with? Very, very fun game. Make sure to check it out.
I love games where it's all about reading and reacting to enemy patterns and, you know, dodging and dashing your way around trouble and finding your opportunities to dish out some damage yourself. And it looks like this is right in that same, you know, vein of thinking. I love those kinds of games. Navigating, you know, a maze of randomly generated labyrinths quickly is also interesting from thinking about it in a little bit of a speedrun perspective, like I like to do. So it has a lot going for it. And I've been getting dragged more and more into playing a ton of roguelites because it's such a big genre with a lot of really good games. This looks like a new addition to that.
Yeah, for those of you who are interested in Ember Knights and potentially looking at the multiplayer aspect that we've heard a lot about from Spike, Vegeta, Fant, and Nuclear Reaction, go ahead and check it out. It will be out in fall 2021, but you can try out the demo right now, like right this second. But we have some other things to cover in the stream today. Let's take a look at our last game of the day for ConnectTank.
Our next largest location was the Duval.
The 20th century. A quaint time when you could hire a simple moving van to transport your goods. Well, not anymore. Here in the 23rd century, we drive big honking tanks across New Pangaea. Intrigued? Welcome to your onboarding for the Fat Cat Shipping Company. Now, I won't lie to you. It's a challenge to keep one of our tanks running as you drive it. It's even harder to do both of those things while firing weaponry at our competitors. That's why our best drivers are handsomely rewarded by me, dashing industrialist and proud capitalist Phineas Fat Cat the 15th. you'll be given access to our company's most sophisticated vehicles, and you'll need them as you drive across scorched deserts, lush forests, and icy tundras. It's a vast world out there, and I sincerely doubt you'll ever have the same journey twice. Though difficult to master, the job is ultimately simple. Connect all of the tank's conveyor belts. Then, craft your ammunition by following the blueprints. Finally, enjoy the simple pleasure of watching your ammo roll down the conveyor belt to be fired at unsuspecting enemies. Congratulations, you've destroyed our competition and made me gobs of money in the process. Want to destroy rival tanks in the company of friends? Be my guest. You can crush our competition with up to 4 other drivers at once. Quite frankly, there are some jobs so tough you'll probably need the help. For instance, not every neighborhood is pleased to see tanks roll through. Some locals, like those pesky broccoli chaps, might try and stop you. Do what you must to make sure our profits are safe. That's enough talk for now. Time to put you to work. ConnectTank is coming soon.
If you want to add ConnectTank to the esteemed ranks that is your Steam library, then you can go to the store right now and go download the demo, give it a shot, and add it to your wish list so you can know exactly when the full release comes out. So this game, I think, has a lot going for it here in this trailer. I got some major kind of Behemoth vibes from this. You can feel the influence from a lot of their games, you know, the Castle Crasher and Battle Block Theater games and stuff like that, especially with the humor, I think. And I'm super glad that this game, like a lot of the ones we've seen today, has cooperative multiplayer. I think this is just this game just seems like such a good one for playing in that style.
Yeah, I love how hectic the gameplay looks when you're either, I'm not sure how much in that trailer was going on was cooperative play, how much of it was like, you know, against another human or just against the computer. But there's so much going on that you're having to figure out. You know, with the grid-based system down there of getting your different tanks to work right there. And by the way, the biggest thing I'm going to sell y'all in this game, that trailer might have gone back too fast. Go back. There's a tank that looks like a burger. That's going to be my #1 selling point for ConnectTank. I know we all missed it. I went back a second time. My God. And it's a beautiful looking burger. Very juicy looking.
Yes, the burger. Dude, I read a little bit of the description and went further into it. I saw that the story was actually written by Patrick Baker, the writer of Regular Show. So it's going to be a hilarious story already. I also saw that it's about over 100 missions that you can be able to venture into and try to destroy other tanks while being able to build your conveyor belt, craft ammo, put out fires, try to destroy these broccolis that are attacking you. That's so sick. And just like how you said that there's different tanks, I also read that there's over 70 unlockable tanks.
Wow.
So there's probably more like nuttiness than just the burger.
Are you telling me I could get a burger tank with bacon on it?
That would be amazing.
Is that what I could do?
The Baconator tank.
Me personally, I'm a big fan of the fact that you're working with Phineas the Fat Cat to make money. You're helping
Yeah.
Phineas's business thrive. I'm a fan of Proto Corgi. I'm a fan of Phineas the Fat Cat.
It's easy to get Sumi into these trailers. Just throw a cute animal in it and you're there, right? It's just
Oh,
right
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
I liked, it's a really small thing in that trailer, but just the inclusion of like a throw instead of having to run up to everything it's really nice for those people like me who try way too hard to optimize their movement and stay like ahead of the curve in a game like this where, you know, entropy is constantly trying to make you lose. And I think just having those extra little things that let you try to find, new skillful ways to play the game are always helpful. Did anyone have any more thoughts on ConnectTank here or any of the adventure games that we saw today?
Give me multiplayer games. ConnectTank is a multiplayer game. Let's go.
Spike, Daniel, thank you so much for being on and helping us with these adventure games, giving us the insight and having looked at some of them a little bit more closely and everything. Real quick, where can people find you online? Let's start with Spike.
Yeah, you can follow me at twitch.tv/SpikeVegeta. I like to stream lots of speedruns of different games like Mario, Donkey Kong, Kingdom Hearts in the mix. I like to do a lot of randomizers, stuff like that with games like Zelda and whatnot. And also a lot of weird, kooky, casual playthroughs where we do, I guess they're not super casual, where we like shuffle a bunch of games and every 20 to 60 seconds, it swaps to a different game. Don't know what that means? I don't really know either. Come watch my stream. We'll figure it out together.
Yes.
Daniel.
I'm Daniel the Demon. It's very nice to meet you. I'm a variety broadcaster on Twitch. You can find me on twitch.tv/Daniel the Demon. I broadcast primarily on night times. I play, any type of games really, but mainly currently I've been playing a lot of roguelites. I've been playing a lot of Ratchet and Clank on the PS5 and just pretty much anything that fits my fancy. So if you guys like a lot of craziness, a lot of busting beats and just nuttiness, so you'll like what it's all about here. Thank you very much.
Well,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks again for being on here for the adventure panel. And thank you to all of our panelists as we are getting ready to sign off here. Thanks to Brian Otto, I am Brandon, TGH, Argic, Pleasantly Twisted, Ashwin, Spike, and Daniel, of course. Thank you all for being on and helping us. And hey, that's our show. We got to see a lot of great games today, and it's not over yet. This is just the beginning of the week. If you had to pick one, though, from the show today, Sumi, what would you say was your favorite?
Only one? Oh.
Yeah, only one. You can only pick one.
Oh. Cris Tales. But I also want to say Moons of Darsalon. I want to save my friends on the moon.
Oh, man.
Okay, fine. Okay, Cris Tales. Cris Tales is the game that I think I would put as my number one. But they are all fantastic. It's very hard. What about you, Hobbs?
I'd say it's got to be Severed Steel. Like that's the one that I'm going as soon as we're done here. I'm downloading the demo for. I'm playing it. But TGH and Argic, they kind of had me sold with Super Dream Dasher too. So like that might be the next demo I play. And
so it sounds like you're cheating and picking two games too.
Okay, okay, fine.
We don't. You made the rules and then you broke them. All right, that's fine. We'll both break the rules together.
It's Severed Steel. All right, but that's the beauty of free demos, right? Like you can try one out. Maybe you don't like it. Hey, that's okay. You can move on, try out another one, or maybe you love it and you want to play it over and over again. But as soon as you're done, you can move straight on to another free demo and check it out. Don't forget, go to the Steam client to find all of these.
Yes, this stream might be ending, but remember that Steam Next Fest is just getting started. From now until June 22nd, you can go right into the Steam store, check out demos for all of these games, watch some developer live streams, and add more games to your wish list, so maybe your friends will buy them for you. I'm Sumichu, he's Jay Hobbs, and thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the festival.
Bye, everybody.